Hello, YouTube. I was muted. I haven't gone live on Twitch yet. I also can't see you yet. The scuff is real. You know what? This is who I am as a person, okay? I gotta figure out what I want to do for this, my setup. I, as you can tell, moved some stuff around. This was out of insistence that I need natural light during the day, okay? Can you fault me for that? I'm just a girl. I'm just a human being, you know what I mean? Sometimes we need some natural light. We need electrolytes. That's what the plants crave. All right. I still can't see you. I just be yapping to myself. Guys, I have some major updates today from Open Sauce. This just in, top news. I have updates from Open Sauce. I have other things that I wrote down because I got the memory span of... It's funny, I think I literally have the memory span of like a peanut, okay? Like an inanimate object. Like it don't even have memory. It don't even have freaking memory. Oh, wait, there are people here. Oh my God. Oh, hey, I can see you now. Wait, that's crazy. How's my audio, by the way? Is this live? It's fake live. Imagine. Dude, one of these days, I'm going to turn myself into a freaking robot and I'm going to go live and I'm going to see if y'all can notice. That would be very fun. I have to update the stream info. I was like, wait, why am I not live on YouTube, on Twitch yet? Right. Also, you guys, I have good news for those of you who actually like my content. For those of you who enjoy my content, actually, I should wait until I'm on stream, or until I'm on Twitch, but I want to stream more. I decided. We're going to be streaming more frequently. However, okay, there is a but. There is a but, because I know a lot of you are based in North America and Europe. We might be doing some degen streams. I don't think they're going to be... It is actually almost snack time. You're right, fart. Okay. Sorry, I'm updating Twitch. But yeah, I think I'm going to be streaming. So I'm going to keep my current stream schedule so you're not losing out on any content. But I want to stream more frequently. Just more in general. So I think... I'm just going to add that just in case. So I think I'm just going to start streaming more for everyone. But it's going to be, I think, in the evening. Because I'll be honest, like these middle... Like this is like middle of the day for me. This is like the earliest that I can do that makes sense. Otherwise it's like right in my key productivity time, you know? Do you guys have that? What are your favorite productive times of the day? You know, what are your lock-in times? I feel like we all have certain times of the day where we're like super freaking locked in. I also like the idea of potentially streaming later on like the bonus days. So that I can, sorry guys, Twitch, I'm so sorry. We're a little late. We're a little late to the start of the stream. I was chatting to YouTube first because I had to update my Twitch info separately for the stream and it took me forever. And hi, hey everyone. Hello. Guys, I have some improvements coming to the stream. I've got a lot that I want to update y'all on. And yeah, it's freaking tea. It's freaking tea o'clock. I have Earl Grey today. You know, the huge. And I lost one of my fingernails. We're gonna pretend that I have my life together and that's not the case. Yeah, new angle. I'm playing around with a new room. Wait, which corner? That corner? I know, I have a fake plant. I have a tree that I could put there. But do I want, is it too much? Maybe it's not. Maybe we need like jungle vibes. Runtime, thank you so much for the 6 months. I appreciate it. I'm like used to the camera over there. Wait, it's over here now. Thank you so much for the 6 months. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. And Nikki Nee. Thank you so much for the Prime sub. I appreciate it. We could see 2 leaves. It's perfect. Yeah. The other one by the lamp, I could get some art or something. Guys, should I get like a cool poster? You know what? Maybe you guys can decide for me. Maybe I do one of those streams like the big guys and I go, hey, I'm giving chat $500 that they can spend on my setup to upgrade my room. Okay, Brown Stain Mattress is an awesome username. Hey, new to the live scene. I'm just dipping my toe into learning coding and programming. Been loving the YouTube stuff. Cheers. Yo, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Forsen, thank you so much for the 14 months. I appreciate it. Thank you. Roy, thank you so much for the Prime. Wow. Have you had Yorkshire tea? No, Yorkshire tea. Okay. Tier list. I think Yorkshire tea is my fave. It goes Yorkshire tea. Chat is so big today. Hello? I gotta shrink you down a little. I gotta put you down a peg, okay? Gotta freaking put you down. Yeah, okay, Yorkshire tea is like S tier, okay? We should do a tier list for teas, actually. That'd be sick. Hold on. I'm trying to be good and actually like write down ideas. Instead of just like living in chaos like I normally do. Listen. I'm just built like this, okay? Oh, I'm like, where are my notes? I don't have it plugged in. I keep it on a USB. Guys, it's very chaotic. Where is it? Did I already pull my little cat pouch out? Where is the cat pouch? Okay. The guys, I have updates. Okay, Twitch. You don't know this yet because I was just telling YouTube. I've decided I'm going to stream more. I had some revelations, okay? And I'll update y'all on everything. The revelations. But I'm going to stream more. I'm going to keep the current Wednesday, Thursday. It's so funny because I'm like, literally, I think right before I left, I was like, I got to stream less. No. I've changed my mind, okay? The mind has changed. So Wednesday, Thursday is going to keep like the current kind of schedule. So Thursday's always going to be the coding streams. Wednesdays could be anything. It could be freaking anything. There's a chance that it's also a coding stream. There's a chance that we just be yapping. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start streaming extra days, likely in the evenings for me. And I'm in Pacific time. So this means like all the DGen squad out there and the Australians. Yo, shout out to the Aussies, the Kiwis, huge. Okay. So I'm going to try and stream more frequently. And yeah, so you'll get more content from me on the live stream. RIP EU. However, I will say there's a chance it's RIP EU, but also there's a chance that I stream late enough that it's still European friendly. Like we'll see. It's either RIP EU or RIP sleep schedule. Also, I need your guys' votes. Okay, hold on. I gotta write things down. Before I forget, because I will forget. Because I already almost forgot. Guys, do you have my cat pouch? This has all of my my framework pieces in it, which is dope. Let's see. Guys, this was the first time I traveled with just my framework laptop, and it was so much lighter than bringing my Mac around. Also, I have a new travel bag that I used. So they sent the company sent me this travel bag because they're like it's for camera gear. And I had the best realization of all time though, because it's for camera gear. So it's like it fits it says it fits a 14-inch MacBook, and I was like, surely that will fit my framework computer. So this was my like personal item for my traveling. It's by Sandmarc. They sent this to me. Disclaimer: they did send this to me. I don't have to say anything about it. But what I found out from this is because it's for camera gear, there's like a middle compartment that's really structured, and it has even like a little, this actually like fully like lays flat, but there's like a little stopper in there. I don't know if you can even see it like this. So it's actually perfect. I put my split keyboard in there. I traveled with my split keyboard and I put my split keyboard in there, and it like protected my keyboard enough where I like the keys weren't getting like pressed on or anything. And it's like, it gives it enough structure too that I didn't have to worry about my, my keyboard getting messed up. Yeah. Who needs extra clothes anyway? Dude, I'm a really light packer. I was gone for like 3 weeks. I was gone for 3 weeks and I just had a duffel bag. I had a duffel bag and that. That's it. I just think I don't like hauling much around. Also, I think duffel bags are kind of meta. I think people will be sleeping on duffels. Also, Irish Andy, thank you so much for the Prime sub. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, so that's my little update. That, and then I was grabbing my notes and hold on. And we're streaming more, which is huge. Yeah. So, oh yeah, we could talk about duffel bags. So, duffel bags, they're underrated because you can live out of a duffel bag. You know, it's comfortable. It's like a little portable drawer. I've traveled with backpacks before, and I think backpacks are better if they have got the hip straps. Hip straps are like the biggest differentiator if it's something that you're having to carry for long distances. If it was something that I was carrying for like super long distances, not just like through the airport, I'd probably want something with hip straps. If my duffel bag had hip straps, it'd be game over. It doesn't. But duffel bags I find much more easy to like live out of versus I have like a top loader backpack that's like a 30-liter backpack that I also really love. Okay, I realize my sub notifications are messing with the chat. Okay. I have a 30-liter backpack that I also really love for traveling. That one has hip straps and it's so good if you're going back and forth and you don't want to look like a tourist. But yeah, duffel bag just has like way more options, like way more room for things to fit in. And yeah, much more comfortable to live out of. I find like with a backpack, you have to unpack everything in order to like access what you're actually looking for. But yeah, I have no clue what that gift is. It's, sent a goat trophy. I also don't know, dude. I swear to God, I'm like, YouTube Live just be doing shit. They just be doing stuff. We don't know what's going on over there, okay? A backpack while traveling feels like last in, first out queue. Always the thing you need is at the bottom. I know, right? Also, Vengeance, thank you so much for the Prime sub. I appreciate it. Yeah, guys, so I spoke to Elgato, and I should be receiving a teleprompter from them as well, which is dope because you guys know that I was talking about before I left. I was like, you guys saw me like live recording some videos. I think that adding in a teleprompter will be cool because then also I'll be able to read the chat looking at the camera will be kind of sick. So being able to look at the camera, reading chat would be cool. And then if I have like fun story times for you guys, then we can easily do that. And I will be mildly less chaotic. You know. Okay, Jared says we did 3 weeks in Europe with our 10-year-old, each having a backpack and a day pack. Lovely. Travel light. Yeah, honestly, you don't need like. There's so many outfit combinations and stuff too that you can do that work, that look nice, and don't require you to have like a million things. Like everything you pack should be able to be worn at least like in 3 different ways. You know. Okay, Alchemist says, hear me out. Roller bag that max performs European, etc. overhead bins. It's small, durable, hiking, day pack, backpack in it. The only thing, okay, what I've noticed, because I travel quite a bit. One thing I've noticed with roller bags, one, they get scrutinized more heavily. 2, you can't necessarily fit as much in them. Like, obviously you don't want to be carrying something super heavy anyway. So it's not like you're shoving a bunch of stuff. But like, for example, I was traveling with a duffel. I got a bunch of like, you know, like free t-shirts and whatever. Cause I was at the Versailles event in New York. And then I was also at, I was also at Open Sauce. And so there's like a lot of companies there that are like giving you swag, right? So I was like, okay, well, I want to take some of this extra stuff back home. If I had packed a roller bag, I probably would have had to struggle with that a little bit more. But yeah, the duffel was nice. Another thing is I noticed roller bags are so quick to get checked. Like at the gate, there was only one time I've been asked to check my duffel, and that was because everyone on the flight was having to check their carry-ons. Only personal items were allowed. And it wasn't for an extra charge or anything. It was just a really small plane. Roller bags are literally for nerds. Dude, did any of you ever have like the rolling backpack at school? You know, I'm going to be honest. I thought that was they were kind of right. Dude, a rolling backpack for school kind of goes hard. But also, it was not cool. Okay? It was cool to like cause yourself back pain carrying 20 pounds of books every day. But like rolling backpacks, honestly, they were kind of cooking. They were kind of cooking. Like day in, day out, I don't want to carry 20 pounds worth of stuff in my backpack. Okay, Alchemist says, I guess the big advice for not needing the bins, check or small bag only, is that you don't have to queue at the gate and stumble on the plane last. Big advice for not needing the bins, which is with a check or small bag only, is that you don't have to queue at the gate and stumble on the plane last. Oh yeah, you're right. Is that why people queue up at the gate? I just wait. I guess it depends. Yeah, I think that's part of why they'll put you on like a later boarding group if you have a cheaper plane ticket. Cause then they're like, maybe we'll get some extra money for you for overhead bin space, you know, or something. I don't know. Yo, hi, I'm in. Hello, hello. That's why I queue. Yeah, if you just chill until the line's gone, you have to check the bag. That makes sense. That honestly, okay, valid. You guys, I was thinking it'd be fun to like hang something from my mic because I got these from YouTube, from the YouTube squad. This is one of the goodies that I got from Open Sauce, and I thought it'd be kind of fun. They had like a produce themed, like booth for the creator section at Open Sauce. And this is a tomato. Look, and it says YouTube on it. I don't know if you can see it. It says YouTube on it, and it's a little tomato. And then I thought this one was really funny. It's a potato. I just got this and I was like, this is really funny. You had to like earn it, okay? You know what? You guys know me. I'm a gamer through and through, okay? I was like, yeah, I'll play whatever your game is. But I just thought this one was the funny because like all the other ones had so much more like design intent with them, and then it was like this one is just like not a circle. It's just a little like it's a lumpy circle. This is where my YouTube premium charges go. Yeah, it's this. Why is checking a bag bad? It hardly adds total time, including retrieval. Depends. So I don't mind checking a bag. Depending on the airport, there's some airports that I know have really slow bag. Like, I don't know what they're doing with the bags, but they take so long to get your bag out. Okay, you guys, 1 for tomato, 2 for potato. Which one should I hang on the mic? We can demo. You know what? We can demo this. Hold on. We can do this. I'm gonna try not to like deafen you. But like how cute would that be? A little potato mic. Or a tomato mic. Okay. That's our potato friend. Do you plan to go to GitHub Universe? Ooh, I'm not sure. Did you know potatoes and tomatoes are the same family? Yeah, they're both nightshade. You're not supposed to eat these if you have arthritis. Okay, this is potato. I'll show you tomato. You vote both? Okay, Coda Sean says, hey, thank you. I watched one of your YouTube videos that talked some on getting burnt out. I realized I'm way burnt out and took some time from work to hang out with a friend. The break was needed. Thank you so much for making that video. I'm so glad. That is like literally the freaking point. I'm so glad. You know, I think that's the thing is I think we're so, especially with as developers, especially with remote work, I think we're so quick to dismiss our needs. Like, I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm very quick to be like, you know what? No, I can handle this. I can handle this. And then like keep pushing myself beyond what I need to, or, you know, beyond what is necessary, what is actually needed of me, because I think that it'll give me more productivity, but it actually like stunts my growth. It's a very short-sighted way of viewing things. Coder, thank you so much for the Prime. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for 5 months. Guys, I lost my voice so crazy at Open Sauce. I'm like just getting it back today, I think. Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny. It's like, it's for whatever reason with mental fatigue, we're a lot slower to act on it. We're a lot slower to act on it and respond to it and understand that, like, you know, as I mentioned in the video, it's like when you start having persistent, like negative thoughts, like negative thought patterns and, you know, doubts and like a feeling like you're never quite doing enough. A lot of that is tied to fatigue. Of course, like, you know, of course there can be some underlying stuff as well that you probably should address with a professional, but overall, like if that is coming up to you, that is like one way that your brain expresses fatigue. Unlike your body where you're just like, you just physically cannot keep moving forward. It's like the equivalent of that is burnout. And the goal is that we don't get there. We don't get that far. Is everything okay with Open Sauce? Yeah, you guys. Okay. Do you want an update from Open Sauce? Okay, hold on. I took some notes. Okay, I feel like the buildup for this is making it sound really scary, really bad. It's nothing bad. Okay. I had a fun time at Open Sauce, but it also gave me some realizations. And, yeah, the Open Sauce was very cool. Hold on. Let me like lock in on it properly in 1 sec. All right. So the audio is great. Yay! Yeah, so these earphones are new. I'm just using them for like audio monitoring. I find I like listening, like I like hearing my voice back so that I know that my audio levels are fine, but I don't necessarily like the over-ear headphones. Sometimes they're a little bit uncomfortable. So I'm just trying these ones out. I just got them on Amazon. They were like $25. They're fine. I'm noticing they have a little bit of static, and I think it's because there's some kind of interference or noise or something that with my setup, I don't think it's necessarily like a fault of the headphones, but I'll have to try them with a different device as well. You guys want to know the IEMs? Hold on. I'll pull one out. Let me see. I don't know if it's dirty. Is it gross? No, it's fine. It literally doesn't say the brand. Hold on. I'll have to check my phone. Can you recommend a program for inspecting memory while debugging C/C++? I moved to Omarchi a while ago. Can't find a good debugger with a good UI. Honestly, I started recently pivoting more towards LLDB, which is not a GUI debugger. It just works. You can get additional information of whatever you need through that interface. And I feel like it gives you a lot of adaptability. I definitely understand though, if you have the preference for for a full-fledged like GUI debugger, but yeah. YouTube is buffering a lot. I don't know why. I wonder if I should check on that. I wonder if I should take a look at that. Hold up. Let me take a look at that real quick. Make sure that I'm not like, there's nothing wrong with my setup. Oh yeah, it is saying there's a poor connection. What the heck? That's weird. Why? Change the video resolution. Oh, I see. Okay, I'm streaming to 4K on YouTube. And I think I changed, it's because I changed the latency to be low so that I could be more interactive with you guys. I might have to change, can I change it? Okay, I might have to end the YouTube stream and then start it back up. I might have to, okay. Okay. I don't know if there's a way for me to end. I think I have to end both streams in order to change that setting. Which is not awesome. Should I just leave it? Yeah, guys, just don't watch the stream in, maybe just don't watch the stream in 4K. Watch it in 1440. Okay. Yeah. Oh my God. Am I still learning Rust? Yes. It's been, I have been. I was actually playing around with my personal site a little bit though while I was gone, which is Elm. I rewrote it in Elm. I've been trying to get the blog stuff set up in Elm, which has been fun. So yeah, I was working on that. And then that also means I was refining that Blossom project a little bit as well. I haven't worked very much on the shell, and that's not because it's not going to happen. It's just because it's like, it's been a little bit lower on the priority list. Did you land the Costco deal? We're still working on it. We're freaking working on it. All I know is Kirkland Signature, they still got my back, no matter what. Wait, did anyone see what the conclusion was? I asked if it should be here, you know what? Should we put both on and then see which one gets more compliments? Let's just freaking max it out. What else am I going to do with these? There you go. They're friends now. Keep both. Let's go. You know what? They deserve a friend. They deserve a freaking friend. Yeah. So, let's talk about open source. So I'm still waiting. So for those of you who don't know, open source is a tech con convention that's all centered around like anything from robotics, software engineering, aerospace engineering. Pretty much it's like the mecca of events for nerds. You probably have heard of like Michael Reeves being there. Michael Reeves, I think, has like been one of the kind of like figureheads of it in years past. And yeah, it's a great way to connect with other people who are also interested in tech, who are building really cool things. I actually found the floor at Open Source, like the main area, really inspiring. There's so many people building really cool stuff. I'm going to try, and I didn't take a ton of footage because I'm Canadian. Okay. I wasn't going to produce any kind of content or anything like that in the US, but I'll try and snag some photos and videos of the different exhibitions so that I can give you guys a little bit more of an idea of like what the vibe was like. I will say though, a lot of like the creator side, I'll give you guys a bit of like behind the curtains. The creator side, a lot of the creators end up mostly hanging out in the creator area, which is like Backstage. And a big reason for this is because like, I think a lot of the reason why you go to cons in the first place is to hang out with friends. So like for me, in my case, I actually only ended up going to Open Source at pretty last minute because Prime and Tej were going to be there, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be seeing them at TwitchCon this year. So I wanted to make sure that I was, making the effort to see them because I don't get to see them in person a ton. So yeah, that's why I ended up going to Open Source, and I'm glad I went. Definitely though, like a lot of the creators, it's very interesting because like I also was kind of checking out Instagram, and I don't have TikTok, but I was also checking out Instagram and even like YouTube and stuff. And it was really interesting also to see like what people were posting, because a lot of the Instagram creators I saw on the floor, like they were posting a lot of like the con, kind of making it look like they were out there the whole time. They very much weren't. I think they pretty much just like went out took a bunch of photos and videos and then like went back to the creator space, which like, I don't necessarily blame them. Again, like you're there to hang out with friends and like-minded people. And it was really fun to connect. But to be completely honest, I really missed streamers. I really missed having other streamers around. Like there were obviously like my friends who stream, like there was like Prime was there as a streamer. There was like Point Crow and Doug and like, you know, there were some other cool people that also stream that I already knew going into it. But like one thing I noticed at TwitchCon every year is it's really easy to like meet new friends. You know, I feel like I like to socialize. I like to make friends and stuff. I personally found that harder at Open Sauce compared to an event like TwitchCon, which was very unexpected for me because I actually really thought like, you know, this is like my group of people, you know, these are like all people that are super interested in tech. I found it really easy to talk to people that had like exhibitions at the con. And they were like, you know, they had a project that they were presenting, but I think it was very interesting because I felt like kind of on the creator side, it made me really proud. And it made me really proud of like the community that we have in the live stream space for programming, because we are like, it's a pretty tight knit community. Like a lot of the streamers like know each other, and or you could make conversation with any of those streamers at an event and they would talk to you like they would anyone else. There's not any kind of like elitism or like anything like that. So it made me really appreciative of that in streaming and even in like long form video content. Like I think that there are a lot of different motivations for why people create content. And one thing that I noticed is I think a lot of live streamers, and I'm not like, you know, it's funny saying this, like, oh, I'm proud to be a streamer after like so much of like the shenanigans that you see at like Streamer U that was also happening the same weekend. But really it did, because a lot of the live streamers that I know and like a lot of the live streamers that I know are in it because they love fostering community and they see themselves as almost like a facilitator of connection and community. And I really, really like that mentality. Like that is kind of like my mentality as well with content, is that I'm like, hey, I'm just creating like a cool space online for other people to connect. I get to kind of like give them things to talk about through videos. I get to introduce like things I think are cool. You know, yeah, like through live streams, through videos, through short form videos. And I think that is like, to me, a really important part of that. But yeah, anyway, it just really made me realize like, I really appreciate the creator space out of all of the potential places that I could be. And it definitely made me want to just stream more and be even more involved in this space. But overall, it was very cool. I mean, I saw, let's see, there was this Raymond who gave me this tiny hand. No, I won't pick my nose with it. But this was like, so this person, it's streamhavoc.com. So I spoke to them for a while. They were very cool. Software developer that in their free time, they're building hardware that allows chat to have some kind of like in-person physical action towards a streamer. So for example, they had like, something that would like throw foam balls at the streamer. So the streamer obviously like sets it up. And then when the chat can do something to trigger some action, he had like, you know, those little, I can't remember what they're called, but like the little guys you see at like car sales places. And he's like, you know, like that guy. He had one of those that's like, you could trigger that with like subs or followers or certain word being said in chat, like just these kind of like in-person physical things that you can have as part of your stream setup. And I was like, that is super cool. What a fun thing to be like spending your time doing. There was another person that, you guys know I love knitting, that had a knitting machine that they had added some like, basically they had added some like hardware element to it so that you could have a pattern up on your computer and it will tell, it will send the next row of, in that pattern of like what the next set of instructions for the next row to the knitting machine. And then you could basically do like color work and, you know, cabling and all this stuff like super easily. Because keeping track of what you're doing each row is like kind of a whole pain. Do it again real quick. You know what I mean? The wacky waving inflatable arm man. Yeah. Wacky inflatable 2 man. You're so right. That's exactly it. But yeah. So that was kind of some of my take on open source. It was super fun. It was super fun. I would say if you're going there with the expectation of like meeting some of your favorite creators, I actually don't think that it was necessarily great for that. It was very interesting. Just because, yeah, a lot of the creators just stayed kind of backstage in the creator area, and it was almost like a lot more expected. Like they had booths set up in the creator area, you know, like companies had set up booths over there. So it's almost like a separate little like mini con within the con, which I thought was really interesting. But yeah, it was fun. Have you seen new tech or tech in general that was interesting? I think it was a lot of kind of like hobby projects that were really interesting, not necessarily super like pragmatic. Like there was one person that had they had like a chair that they had attached to, I think, like robotic legs, and then also had like a t-shirt cannon attached to the sides of it. And so it would launch t-shirts, and he was like moving around with this like by means of a robot, which is very cool. Like there was a lot of really cool stuff like that. I really liked the gaming section. There were a lot of really cool indie games that I really liked. I took photos of some of them so we can maybe play some of them on stream or something at one point. But yeah, it was interesting. It was an interesting one. It's like kind of my first, I think that was like kind of my first convention or my first convention that I went to that was like not TwitchCon, you know? Yeah, so it was interesting. It was very interesting. I really liked it. I had a really great time. It was just a very, I don't know. I did think I think I was a little bit sad girl that I like didn't make more new friends, because I do love that, you know. I like making friends, but it was really hard. I found it really hard to make friends there, which again really surprised me, just because I was like, there's so much overlap here. Yeah, so I think Oetsy's asking, I'll ask. Red Hot asks first. Okay, Red Hot said, you've never done Comic-Con or PAX. PAX West wouldn't be too far of a travel for you. No, I haven't gone to either of those yet, no. It's hard because I'm kind of having to be like pretty intentional about like when and where I'm traveling. Just, you know, because there's only so much that I can travel realistically in a year. And a lot of the times too, when I'm traveling, like you guys saw, like these last 3 weeks, I had videos scheduled because I worked really hard before I left to try and make sure I had those set up for you guys. But otherwise, it's like I'm not really producing new content while I'm out. So it like really amplifies my workload when I get back. Yeah, and then Oetsy asked, do you think it was more company focused or community focused? TwitchCons are more community focused. Yes, I think that's where the discrepancy was. Is I went in thinking it would be a very community focused event, because I don't know, for some reason I'm just like, oh yeah, surely most creators and most surely that's what most creators would be interested in, is like building community. And then I forget that there was like I'm just in my own little bubble in that way of like, I started first with live streaming, which is very community focused. I think it was very networking focused. So I think there were a lot of people that were really interested in meeting companies for like partnerships, collaborations, stuff like that. Not as interested in collaborations. I noticed like streamers are very in tune with like wanting to collaborate. Like we see that as it is a good thing to have friends in the space. You know, it's like, it strengthens your ability to like kind of put out content. It gives you more support. you know, gives you fun ideas for, you know, all doing things together. But like most other platforms don't kind of reward that in the same way. It kind of can be one of those things of like, oh, we will collab as a way to like only like for the exclusive purpose of like gaining access to another person's audience, which I feel like is often a cause for collaboration. But to me, like that shouldn't be the main thing. You know what I mean? Like I think that's wise. I think I just kind of went in with a different set of expectations of like, oh, surely this will be similar to TwitchCon, but it's going to be more tech focused. And then I was like, ooh, no. Yeah. It was very surprising because I actually found myself both at the Vercel event and at this con. I ended up just talking to software devs. Like I made friends with more devs, you know? Yeah, it was very interesting because they were like more open, I think, to that versus I think some people are kind of like, what can you give me in a sense? And that's not to say that's everyone or anything. And like, it could have just been the limited capacity of people that I was talking to and stuff, but you know, yeah, that's just like my very real, like behind the scenes of how I felt after. And I feel it made me very proud of like, you know, I really love the streaming space. Like how special is that you can go to an event and know that people will make conversation with you. And it doesn't really matter how big your audience is or anything like that. And people are willing to make conversation. I think it's very cool. Yeah. Corvette, thank you so much for the tier 1 membership. I appreciate that. Thank you. What do you think about mobile development native and multi-platform? For what? Mobile development native and multi-platform? New streaming goal. We're playing around with it. Yeah. I decided that I think part of what like often makes it harder for me to stream for longer periods of time is the lack of natural light. So I had to move my camera around because of the natural light is like obviously brighter than the lights that I have in my room. So I had to kind of switch it around a little bit to make it work. But yeah, open source was very cool. Also, wait, at open source, I randomly ended up on stage. I wasn't expecting to like, you know, I was expecting to be like side character. Like I was just there to hang out with friends. But I actually ended up on stage with Prime, TJ, Code Bullet, Internet Commentary, and Doug. It was basically Prime and TJ had built a live audience Super Smash Bros. Melee interactive game. So basically the audience was prompting an LLM. The audience was prompting an LLM to teach it how to play the character to try and win. And it was very funny because it was just, obviously it's like working off of like a huge set of inputs. And so that was very entertaining. But basically each of the creators, the kind of like featured creators that they had, which was Code Bullet, Internet Commentary, Doug, and myself. We each had our own like team in the crowd, and we had to kind of like coach them and get them hyped up and stuff. And it was really fun. I was Team Falcon because apparently Captain Falcon is really good for melee, and is like pretty bulky, like pretty tanky and good for if we're like brawling. And I figured a lot of the people were probably gonna say like, you know, stay center on the platform so that you don't obviously like, you know, fall off a cliff. I figured it would be a lot of kind of like brawling in the middle. And it was very funny. The first round we destroyed. We got the Falcon Punch. It was very funny because it was like I was like, you guys, we got to prioritize we got to prioritize the Falcon Punch. We got to hit that when they're all clumped together. And it was so good because the first round, there was just a lot of, the bots just doing what they're doing. And then the guy finally Falcon punches all three of the other opponents, just yeets them off the stage. It was very fun. It was very fun. that was at Open Sauce, not TwitchCon. But I do think I'm gonna try and maybe do something at TwitchCon. We'll see. I gotta lock in. Oh, in terms of salary, job market, generally as a field, I'm starting to get into it. I feel like you should probably I would look at the job market, the demand for those positions in your town, if there's remote work for it, if there's a specific place that you want to move to, what the job, what the market looks like there, the demand. Yeah, literally, I'm the PM here. How do we rally? It was funny though, because I was like, maybe I need to be funny. I only know how to be chaotic and assertive, maybe. I was like, I don't know how to be funny right now. We need a freaking win. Okay. I need y'all to lock in. It's my first time hearing about open source. Yeah. I'd heard of it before. I know that a lot of different creators and stuff went last year. And I was like, yeah, I didn't really consider going until Prime and Teach were like, oh, we're going and you should come. And I was like, okay, all right, I'll do it. For friends, for sure. But yeah, it was very fun. It was great. But again, I wouldn't go expecting to meet all of your favorite creators. But the panels were really good. I will say that. There's so many panels that I had that I'd added to my calendar because I wanted to see them. I ended up missing so many of them because I don't know. I think I was doing other stuff and then I was like, oh no, there goes one of the ones that I wanted to see. There were so many good ones. So I actually they have a Sauce Plus or something that's allows you to see the recorded version of a lot of the talks. But yeah, a lot of the panels were really good. That was crazy. Only started hearing about it this year as well. I wonder if they're putting more advertising in it. It could be. I think this is only the third or fourth year. I could be wrong. Okay. I could be spreading misinformation right now, but I think it's a relatively new con to where there probably hasn't, it's probably getting more talked, more discussed or more well known because it's been around a little bit longer is my guess. Frost, thank you so much for the tier 2. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for 6 months at tier 2 is insane. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Wow. Nano, thank you as well for the 9 months at tier 1. Thank you. Thank you. You guys, for anyone who missed the announcement at the beginning of the stream, I'm going to try and stream more frequently. We'll see how we go. I think it'll be fun. Sometimes they post shorts, but they record the entire thing. The virtual ticket is pretty cheap. Ooh, wait, that's good to know. I wonder if I should check out the virtual ticket is so it's going to be more frequently, but it's probably going to be at night. So if you're from Europe, it's going to be maybe potentially degen hours. We'll find out. But yeah, there will at least be the option for you to hang on stream more. It'd be very cool to maybe compare the virtual ticket to going in person. I do again, the in-person was very cool. I think I just went into it with a different set of expectations and being I don't know. I don't know. I was like, surely I will make friends. People will be friendly. And, yeah, I think TwitchCon is better for that. It really made me appreciate the streamers who can make conversation so freaking easily. I swear. Y'all meet if any of you have ever spoken to a streamer offline? I swear, it's crazy. I should be a tech streamer so I can inundate my viewers with 1 hour of ads every 10 minutes. I do think the ads look kind of crazy. Hold on. Let me see what the interval is right now. I don't even know where this setting is. I mean, I think I run pretty similar. Can I? I don't know what's better. Do you want shorter ads more often or longer ads less often? I don't know what the big streamers do. When you become friends with streamers IRL. How did open source benefit you, and what part did you feel was the most informative? I thought it was really inspiring seeing what people are building. I think that was like big win for sure. Like easy. You come back from that, you're like, what am I doing? What the frick am I doing? You know, I don't think there's any way to see like people's hard work and then be like, yeah, I'm good to just go back to not doing any of that. Let's see. I mean, I can just, a 2.5 minute ad break every 12 minutes is crazy. 15 minutes. It can be a 3-minute ad break every 18 minutes. 1.5 minute ad break. Oh, that's still long. Oh, can I just do automatic? Okay, I'm just going to do it automatic. I don't know. 3 minutes is insane. I know. What the heck? What work inspired you the most on open source? I honestly, I didn't spend that much time on the floor. I'm the problem. Like I think my main thing at open source was just to hang out with friends. So I'm kind of the problem. But I think in generally speaking, the stuff that inspired me the most was, I think it was just the sheer amount of creativity. You know, it's like you can just build things, and seeing that put to action by so many people was very inspiring. Yeah, these people don't leave the green room, also stays in the green room. Well, that's the point. I'm like, I'm going to see my friends, and if we're all staying in the green room, everyone's staying in the green room. I was freaking yapping. I lost my voice like immediately. Yeah. I know, just ribbon. I know. What did you do? Let's see. Ooh, okay, guys. I also have an update on. Okay. Let's see. Did you meet Curious Mark? No. There were so many creators there. I wish like we need like name tags or something, you know? Or even just, I thought it would be really cool to have more of a, like they had like soldering. You could solder your badges. I think I forgot my badge actually. You could solder your badge, which was very cool. And so like everyone was into that. But then it meant that like the soldering table was always busy. Like I didn't even get to solder my badge at all. And I thought like that would be a perfect activity to like sit around and do crafts, you know? What happened to my face? What do you mean? Oh, we're on the other side. My face is flipped. Well, kind of. This is the left side of my face. Before you were seeing the right side of my face. He had a booth. Oh, cool. Yeah, there were so many booths. There were so many freaking booths. It was great. Why don't I stream on Kick? I don't want a Kick audience, man. Kick is like where they send the worst of them. You look way different. I mean, it's a very different angle. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, you know what? I'm not the real me right now. I modeled myself. And I've now been caught. Yeah, Kick is like, I'm like, this is like if I actively wanted to engage with the people in my unbanned. Like, I think I'm good. Yeah. What happened to my cup? What do you mean? This one? What? Yeah, I got no desire to go to Kick. Sure, Ad free. You know what else I can do? I can give you guys like a Patreon where I give you everything, every single piece of content that I make ad free. I actually spoke to YouTube. I was really hoping to get more answers around memberships because that was kind of my goal with memberships too. Is I'm like, I want to give you guys extra behind the scenes content and whatnot. But it kind of sounds like it's not going to fulfill what I want. Cause I would love to give members like ad free versions of videos, but then it's like, then the everything just becomes chaos. Cause then I'll have like 2 copies of everything. So I think it might be a Patreon angle, but then like, I don't know. What do you guys think? Cause I'm like, I don't want to give you guys another place that's like, oh, pay me money. You know, the alternative is literally just that I do a sponsor. You know, build it yourself, build my own Patreon. That would be so much work. Could be fun. Could be fun. It could be like an extension. Imagine. That could be cool. Okay. Let's see. Oh gosh. Okay. I sidetrack much? Yeah. Big sidetrack. Yes. Sponsors are okay. Okay. Yeah. Cause I'm like, I don't know. Let the companies pay for it. You know, I think y'all should get free content. All right. I gotta film some things as well, you guys. We can talk. Okay, I gave you a little open source thing. I don't know if I spoke about it in a way that was very conducive or good for video. Let me do I'll give you all a quick little recap of open source real quick, and then I'll give you a little bit of a recap. We'll talk a little bit about what I think about AI. And what I learned going to a conference that was very heavily AI focused. And if it changed my thoughts on it and kind of the overarching like lessons learned from that. I definitely learned a lot from that. Have you considered IRL streams at events? I would love to, but I don't risk doing any content stuff in the States. If I was allowed to, I would. But I'm a rule follower, okay? I'm a rule follower. I can't do it. That could be considered working, and I don't want that. Are you talking about AI? Because I hate AI. Yeah, we can lock in on that in a moment. Ooh, a new study that talks about the health impact of data centers in congested areas. Can you link? Great influence on the viewers. Yeah, AI is a tricky topic because, you know, it's one of those things. It's one of those things where it was interesting. Like my main goal going to a conference about AI was to figure out like what are big companies saying about it. Cause I'm obviously like, I'm on Mastodon. Okay. I'm on Mastodon. I'm seeing what the people on there, the skeptics, I'm seeing what they're saying. I feel my own opinions about AI. Even just from like my own experiences with it, how much I would feel comfortable using it. And I think that for whatever reason, people on Twitter are really overgeneralize adoption, what makes the most sense, what doesn't. It's not the issue. Yeah, there's also like a lot of ethical implications with it. It's a whole can of worms. Like, I think it's easy to get very frustrated with AI given the ethical implications of it. But it's one of those things too, where like companies haven't had to be held accountable for the ethics of a lot of their decisions for a very long time. It's not going to change now. There's been no enforcement with even like collecting user data or, you know, like the data leaks. I would have thought there would be more severe punishments for that or, you know, some level of enforcement that requires companies to improve how they are handling all of that information. The fact that what used to be considered piracy is now normalized only when it makes a company money, only when there is the potential to make revenue for it, not when it is making knowledge accessible for everyone. You know, those are all issues that I think have bubbled to the forefront with AI. And I definitely understand why a lot of people would be against it ethically. I can understand even like, you know, it was very, very funny and awesome of the Pope being like, AI is anti-human is based as hell. It's very funny. But that's not going to stop companies from using it. That's not going to stop a lot of people who are in this chat from having to use AI at work. And I think that it would be very irresponsible of me as well to say, I think that AI is always bad. And I think that if you are going to be using, you know, like if you're going to be using AI, it makes you a bad person, or like any, you know, I think that there are skills that we are now going to have to adapt to. And I think that it's important to acknowledge that. And I am trying to also be a responsible creator. People come to me with questions and I want to make sure that I'm guiding them in a way that won't harm their career. I do think that you can be you can be against some of the ethical sides of it and still have to conform with the masses to an extent. That is to say, I do always think that you should be advocating for yourself, though. I think that there is a lot of room for skill atrophy when you outsource too much of your thinking. I personally don't think that necessarily this audience is going to be super susceptible to that, only because I know that so much of this audience, like you are actively seeking programming content beyond your job, beyond your schooling. Like you are looking for that immersion. You have that drive to understand how computers work. You have that curiosity. So I'm not necessarily concerned that you are going to be the ones that are delegating too much to this tool. I think the main problem ends up being management, which I think is this is, you know, like you're a POV, you're a dev. I got 99 problems, you know, every single one of them is because of poor management. Okay. Managers have notoriously had a really hard time managing developers, figuring out what are good performance indicators, what is a good sustainable lifestyle. Like there is a reason why developers were having burnout prior to this tool. Developers are still going to continue to have burnout after this tool, despite the productivity gains. And a lot of that comes from the target being a moving thing. You know, now it's just that you have to use AI in order to have the outputs that they want. And there is the potential that in that process, you are outsourcing just enough of what you could be learning from that it devalues your experience slightly. All that is to say though, as well, you can use it for education. If you're getting stuck on something, you can unblock yourself very quickly. You can learn a lot more in a lot less time. And I think that as long as you're still taking that time, as long as you're still challenging yourself, using that muscle, it's not going to have a negative impact on you. This is all obviously disregarding the impacts on the ethics of AI. But all that is to say, I did speak to a lot of developers at the conference that was very heavily AI focused. Some of them said they haven't even gone into their editor in a long time. Like this, basically they're like, this year, I don't even know that I've like gone in my editor. Now, to me, that seems like an extreme case. I don't think that's necessarily the best case, but the resounding overarching thoughts with using AI is, if you are new to programming, if you are even a mid-level developer, most of the people that are okay to outsource most of their workflow to AI, if you're staff level, senior developer, that is going to be more okay, is going to have a bit less of an impact on you. If you are kind of at a point where you need to still hit those walls and learn from those things in order to have a better understanding of how to build good software, you cannot outsource that experience to AI. I spoke to a lot of very skilled developers who agreed with that, despite the fact that most of what they're doing now is AI driven and or reviewing changes from their team. So I think that, yeah, the overarching lesson from that is, if you are new to coding, if you still have things that you want to learn, you cannot replace learning with this tool. But if you're staff level, and I think this is why we're seeing so many people that are, big players in the software dev space that are super enthusiastic about AI, that are talking about how they've outsourced their entirety of their workflow to AI, that is because they have 20 years of experience, and that experience compounds, and they are now using that experience and simplifying what they're doing. Their involvement can be more minimal. Again, though, you still have to learn, and it does not replace that. That is, even from the people that, were super experienced, they would still suggest that they're mid-level developers, that they're junior devs, that the students still learn. You cannot be vibe coding everything and expect to gain traction. I do think, though, like, even from my own experience, I think that it can be helpful to play around with like, not 100% vibe coding, but also, like, it's good to refine your use of a tool. It's good to find different processes that that allow you to have consistently good outputs. That is generally the goal with AI. That is like the skill that comes in to using AI, is how can I make this system so that I will have continuously good outputs. A lot of junior roles aren't needed anymore, to be honest, due to AI. That's not an important point these days. That is very short-sighted. I don't think that people are going to stop necessarily hiring juniors. I think there's also, like, whenever you work at a company, there's always been a bit of a gap of, like, why would I hire a junior instead of a senior? Like, what from the beginning, like, what has been the point of juniors? Sure, you can pay them less. You can have more juniors for the amount of one senior. Does that mean that they're getting any more work done than that one senior would? No, not necessarily. But you can fine tune this malleable mind to suit your processes exactly. They're not coming in with any kind of additional bias, additional experience that can actually hinder your current processes. They're very adaptable. I think it's very short-sighted to say that it's going to completely wipe out junior roles. I do think especially senior developers, staff developers are going to continue to advocate for them. That take sounds very much like a response to being in a bubble. It's very, very short-sighted. Okay, Monospace Mentor says, I'm a CTO, and while AI speeds up stuff a lot, I noticed it's about as effective for learning as watching someone else do it. It all looks cogent. I never heard that word. But I struggle with repeating it myself successfully. Yes. So even for myself, when I was doing some of this stuff with Elm, for example, their docs, not as good as Rust docs. I'm going to be honest. The Elm docs, they're good, but there aren't a ton of, like, working examples. So I found AI was actually very helpful, giving me good working examples to go off of so that I can identify those patterns, But when you're first learning something, you need those examples to go off of. Typically, that means you build something really simple in the beginning, and then you use that as a reference for, future projects that you build. So I do think it's really good from that. I don't think that necessarily, like, watching it solve something for you is going to teach you anything, but getting it to unblock you so that you can then be like, okay, here's where I got stuck. Here is the answer to that thing. Now next time that I do this, I'm not going to ask AI. I'm going to try and solve it myself now that I have a working example that I can go off of. And there is a spectrum too. Like, so many people, some people are using it to completely, the workflow is going to be very dependent on where you work, at least at whatever point in time you're at, right? Like, if you're working in healthcare, you're probably not vibe coding, We've even seen, like, there's been so many examples as well of, like, vibe coding can lead to very unreliable changes. Not to say that people are perfect, but I think we're more used to having very robust QA for human-led contributions. Most of the time, people are doing a really good job of keeping their changes contained to a specific scope. Whereas I've noticed with a lot of agents, they will just they're like, well, this file could change for no reason, you know? But I don't think that, I think it's a very extreme argument and not a very good one to say that AI is going to actually replace people. I think it's a really good way to, you know, get more, like, understand your whatever information that's being presented to you more plainly from a different perspective than, you know, you might want. I do wish that there was I do wish that AI was better at attributing results for things, you know, like it is going off of, you know, other people's work. Some people, it's their life work that they've spent to solve these problems. I don't think that AI is always necessarily going to give you, it's going to give you a shallower understanding of whatever it is that you're looking into than if you were to actually, like, you know, deep dive it. But not everything needs to be a deep dive. Sometimes speed is what you need, and it's okay to do that, you know? Oetsy says it's cheaper for companies to train the junior than to pay Anthropic or OpenAI. Yeah, we are finding that now. There's also the ability to rug pull. I did try a local LLM on my laptop, which is not a great system. Like, not a great system. I mean, like, not sufficient resources to, like, be able to have a very performant local model. I did try it. It wasn't great. I do wish that there was a bit more accessibility in that sense. Not everyone's going to be able to, like, run their own local models. I do think a lot more companies are probably going to start running their own models, at least within some highly regulated fields, at the very least. Yeah, but there's I think the whole take that this is, like, devaluing skills, that, you know, that depth is no longer important, blah, blah, blah. Like, I think that a lot of that just comes from, it's marketing, first and foremost. It's marketing by the AI companies. I mean, they've said it for themselves. They want intelligence on a meter, but it's not the villain. Like, AI inherently is not an evil thing. It's a tool that is now at our disposal that can empower us, and under poor management can be used as a threat. So I don't think that there's really, it actually made me a lot calmer about the thought of AI, to go to an AI focused event, because I was also seeing some of the results from other companies that were depending on it crazy heavily. Some of them were doing well. Some of them were not doing well with my judgment on their outputs. And you know, that means, like, why would it work well sometimes and why would it not work well other times? It depends entirely still on skill. Need Thicker Strings says, with AI being a hot topic, it's never a mature response to outright ban AI use within a company. AI is never going away. You have to adapt to keep the competitive edge, in my opinion. That's kind of how I'm feeling as well. I think I'm going to experiment a little bit more with, like, finding different workflows and things that, you know, that add value for me, where I don't feel it takes away from my skills. I might also just I want to try again with, like, building something from scratch. Vibe coding something from scratch. Not actually vibe coding, but, like, you know, basically in the scenario of, like, a lot of the argument for, like, we need to be using AI is very much rooted in a speed, right? It's like we want something done really fast. I'm very curious to see what would my process look like if that was my goal. Because obviously, like, me, with a lot of the projects that I share on stream, are very focused around learning, are very focused around, like, speed is not the priority. My own personal growth and learnings from that is the priority, which means that it requires more time. But yeah, I am very curious though to see and, like, kind of test the capabilities. Like, I think using something like Figma Make could be really interesting. I don't know if you guys know of that one at all. But I would be very curious to see like using that as to like shave off some level of time of what do I want the interface for, if I'm doing like a full-fledged desktop application, for example, and I need to style, like I need to create, I'm creating everything and I'm a solo dev. I'm very curious to see if I can feed it different layouts, different examples, different inspiration for my app. You know, what will it come up with? It can convert that to code. What I like is still having a hand in the pie. Like I think with Figma, and this is not like obviously sponsored or anything, I just like saw it in passing and I was very curious about it. But I use Figma already for if I'm designing honestly, a lot of things, probably things that I should be using Photoshop for, but I like Figma. I'm comfortable in Figma. I feel comfortable and safe there. So I would be really curious to see that kind of like give me a bit of a boilerplate or like a little template that I can go off of, and then I can tweak things. So it's not that it's necessarily like the outcome is not AI generated, but you know, how can I make it like AI assisted in a way that adds value, enough value that it doesn't take away from skill? Because I do think that there's a middle ground. There's a very, very much a middle ground. Aaron says, I think building in a builder is a very valid thing to say when you're using, to say you're doing when using AI, because you're bringing your guidelines to the table and your requirements. But I feel like there's a spectrum though, because if I see something that has been like completely AI generated, like a lot of the things that you see even online now, I was talking to some other creators, other devs about this. I don't know that it's necessarily a healthy thing that we're seeing trending online where people are like, here's what I built this week. And it's like 2 full-blown applications. Like a lot of them are web applications, but still 2 full-blown web applications. This is what I built in 1 week. You're probably like, well, I'm not building that in 1 week. That's because you're still coding it. You're still considering probably more deeply, like a lot of the different like potential scalability requirements, maintenance requirements, things that make it good software. Versus just like the goal is to have a working prototype. The working prototype though does really well on social media and you see it a lot. And my concern is that it also creates a little bit of an environment of like where it is furthering the feeling that a lot of developers have around imposter syndrome and stuff. I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys, does that give you like, how do you feel when you see content like that? When you see all of these different content creators that are like, here's what I built this week. That being said, I do actually want to try and be better at having better like scopes around my projects. I think that's something that I struggle with. I think a lot of people struggle with that. Cause even the shell thing, I'm like, I could have gotten the shell done a lot faster, but I let myself make it open-ended. And it didn't need to be open-ended. It's no benefit to me for it being open-ended. But I would be very curious to know, you know, building a shell in a week. Can I do it? Can I not? Why can't I do it? If I can't do it this week, how long does it take? You know? Abu says, annoyed, LOL. I want to be supportive, but inside I'm annoyed. I think that's kind of how I feel as well, Abu. Like, I feel like it's inspiring to a point. It's inspiring when you see somebody that has put in the work that is seeing good results from that. That is awesome. Yeah, but it's hard when it's like, how much is this benefiting a broader community of people? Is it serving as inspiration or is it serving as I almost want to say intimidation. I don't know that that's necessarily what I'm the word I'm looking for. Do you know what I mean? You want closed captions? I don't know how to add closed captions to a Twitch stream. Let me ask my mods. I'm going to put it in my mods thing. I heard, oh, you want closed captions? Let me ask my mom. Yeah. She can fix this. Can you add closed captions or open captions? No. No open captions for you. I skip content like that. I prefer content that teaches me things that's actually or is actually impressive. I feel like there's a middle ground. Because I think I'm a very process-based creator. But even for me, I'm like, how do I make this interesting? You know? I'm like, let's be honest, what I'm doing right now is boring. How do I make this an interesting story? It is much more interesting to have a finished product, you know? Oh, there's an OBS plugin? Oh, awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, perfect. To be honest, seeing people talk about AI or build with AI annoys me. Not interesting. I think there's a middle ground, you know? I think like using AI proactively is great. I think that like being able to use it as basically like an improved search engine, get you examples for what you're trying to build more quickly. Like using it as an assistant is fine. But I think when it's doing the heavy lifting, that I find less interesting. Or like, again, I think it's just like, I am curious how I would deal with it if I was in a different situation where I'm looking for like max speed. Orient says, I think that for a programmer, the process is way more interesting than a product demo. Really? You know what? I think you're kind of, yeah, maybe you're right. Hi, Janet. Hello, hello. People who know their stuff are impressive and inspiring until they cross over into elitist posturing. 100%. But I'm like, I think most of the time I've never met anybody that is incredibly talented that is very elitist. I think when it comes to elitist posturing, it comes from a place of ego. Most of the people that I know that are incredibly talented, like the best at what they do, are like the nicest people I've ever met. It's often, I mean, I don't know. Some people just got an ego, and that's fine. They're allowed to. But that doesn't mean that you gotta befriend them or have overlap with them. You know what I mean? I love AI Culver says, I love AI for high level info for new topics I'm learning. Yeah, like it's a really great way to get like, you know, get your feet wet. Is that surely that's a saying, right? It's a good way to get your feet wet. Yeah. Yep. Get your toes wet. Get those dogs wet. As a saying? Okay, good. As a saying, get those dogs wet, ready to jump in the pool or something. Okay, Virgil says, it's been like 4 to 5 years of LLMs being mainstream. Why hasn't the economy been massively boosted and lifted? With steam engines / the internet, the immediate effect was noticeable. You're right. That's a good point. We still need skill. You know what I really want to do? So I might have another angle. This is the new angle. Do you guys like this angle better than the normal one? Do you care? I don't know if you care. I just need natural light is what I've decided. I'm like, I want to stream more, and I will not be able to contain my sanity without some freaking natural light during the day. I like the other one more, I think, but this one's good. Okay, other one more. Got one vote for the other one? Yes. Angle's cool. No preference. I missed the shelf background, but it's still there. Do you wish it was over here? I did move it. Mic arm on the other side. You know what? You're right. I honestly should maybe just use my mic stand. I think it's less. Maybe I'll change that right now. The arm takes up so much room. Like even on my desk, I'm like, I can't have a drink under there. Do you know how fast I will spill that on all of my electronics? Also, like this majority of my desk has like laptops on it. But I'm excited to get a prompter and be able to see, I'll be able to see chat always right by the cam. Did someone ask? Someone was asking, I think, what my favorite distro was, or my favorite. Yeah. I'm on Nix and I do really like it. Highlights look amazing in the natural light. Thank you, Janet. Wait, thank you. That's so nice. That's so nice. Caitlin says, mic arm on the other side with good lighting. It is nice. It is much, much nicer with the natural light. I feel healed. I feel like I could stream all day, every day. Okay. Let me fix that real quick. I might grab my other mic thing. Also, I can give you guys a tree in the background. We can see how we go. All right. BRB. Well, BRB, you guys will still be able to see me. I just can't hear myself. Depends where you put chat overlay on the stream. You know, you're so right. They're pretty front and center here. Hold on. All right. All right. A tree. And then I have a mic arm in here somewhere. Uh-oh, the secret's out. You guys like the tree? Okay. Now you can't open the door. I got nothing in there that I need. I got nothing freaking in there. That's for my long-term storage. Those are my off-season clothes and my fishing gear. It deadass makes it so much better. Wait, really? What the heck? We're fixed. It's a real tree? I wish. I freaking wish. It is summer, fishing time. Hey, you're right. I should go fishing. I love fishing. Guys, one day I'm going to pivot to, one day I'm going to take a hard pivot and I'm going to go into like camping content. No, it's a fake plant, you guys. A fishing stream would be sick. Honestly, we could probably make that happen with study time. I need to figure out how to have a better stream setup. I'm going to be a pro. I'm going to be a pro one day. I'll freaking make it. Her setup is so good. I don't know why these are so hard to put in my ear right now. Do you like the fish shell? I do love the fish shell. Yeah. You can ask Gemini a basic fact. It'll lie with the utmost confidence. That you never think it's not right. I know. Yeah, study time, her setup is goated. She's got it so that if it's off of her phone, but if it disconnects, it's just like, it's still, the stream runs on her stream PC at home. I'm like, that's 10x. You're so smart. I think Tailscale could do that. I think Tailscale could do that. Maybe I should try and get it set up. Guys, should we try that? I'm trying to, again, I'll be on stream more so we can experiment more. I'll be like, listen, G, we got to figure it out. I'm going to do it with Tailscale. I have another video with Tailscale coming out at one point. At one point in the next month. Okay, I'm going to mute for a sec so I can unscrew my mic. I feel like a shouty right now. I'm so short. Wait, my desk feels so much more clear. That's so ironic. Oh, hello. No sound comedy. Yeah, we're back to the skits of like we're back in like the 50s. I'll be honest, that was pretty heavy. that was pretty heavy. I don't know if I gotta have this closer. Figure it out. You know what? A little stream revamp day. Guys, you want to see more of the goodies I got from Open Sauce? Hashtag haul. Any closer? It's ASMR. Oh, you hear me? Okay, it's good. Alrighty then. Well. Oh well then. I mean, that's awesome. I also think this is as low as it goes. Is it in the way? Is it still kind of in the way? Is it fine? I'm just gonna, whatever. I've never done 3D printing. No, I've never tried it. One day we'll lock in. Okay, so here's a fidget toy. Okay. When you start booping, it's too... Okay, fair. Yeah, they're very clicky. I was actually clicking these a lot. This is cool. I forgot about this. What is it? Like a holograph effect? Hold on. Do you see? Do you see the different landscapes? Dude, I forgot that this exists. Like, how dope would that be on a t-shirt? You know? I could do that. I could do that. And then there's this that you're supposed to actually solder onto your badges. Very fun. Very fun and cool. Okay, you guys, I'm showing it with my hand that has a nail missing, okay? Don't look. Don't freaking look. And then this is one of those, like forever pencils, which is kind of fun. So it doesn't, it writes like a pencil and the tip never wears away. And it's got a light too. This is my favorite one. Yeah. Hold on, I'll look it up. There's the science. This is science. Okay, this is peak freaking scientific innovation. Okay, forever pencil, how does it work? Pencil. Okay. So, forever pencils, also known as eternal pencils, work through physical friction and oxidation rather than releasing ink or traditional graphite. The writing tip is made from a specialized metal alloy, often containing ethergraph, tin, bismuth, or graphite composites. When the tip touches paper, it leaves behind microscopic traces of metal particles or oxidizes the paper's surface, creating a graphic-like mark. This process is similar to the historical silver point drawing technique where while the tip technically wears down over time, it does so slowly so it can last for thousands of meters of writing, often marketed as equivalent to 100 or more standard wooden pencils before needing replacement. Isn't that so cool? Science. Do you guys want to see? Do I have paper? Hold on, I got paper, but it's too far. I'm gonna grab it with my toes. It's too far. No, I have to grab it with my foot because my headphones are tethered to the desk. Did anyone see my chat messages? I missed it. Okay. Are you ready for this? What should I say? I'm gonna say hello, chat. We're gonna say hello, chat. Well, ignore my other nail that I've lost. I mean, it works. Science. Mic drop. Freaking science. let's go. This was my favorite little thing. Your desk clutter pick triggered me. Dude, my desk right now is crazy. Can you erase it? Yeah, actually. You can. You can erase it. I don't know where my eraser is right now. Yeah. No, my desk is always very chaotic and cluttered. Judy, thank you so much for the 6 months. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. What motivates you to grow in mind, body, and spirit? Make my younger self proud. Be somebody that can help uplift others. I think I'm very motivated by that kind of thing. I listened to Marcus Aurelius's meditations one too many times. Draw a smiley face, dude. So I'm really excited. I've got some setup updates that'll be happening soon, and it's awesome. What books did you read for that? Oh, for growth, like personal growth. What was I talking about? What did I say? Oh, honestly, learn more about, I think learning about Stoicism is one of the best rabbit holes you can get into. I think it's so good for like kind of finding meaning beyond yourself. I think if you're North American, I mean, I think Canada's a little bit more community focused than the US, but like there's a lot of emphasis on what we can bring as individual contributors. And I think it's really easy to get stuck in our own little worlds where you become, where you kind of become the main priority. And it's like, you're like an ant. Okay. You're like a little ant in the scope of the world. And I think there's a lot of like benefit to your mental well-being to have a purpose that is greater than yourself. Yeah, I think like to me, some of my favorite, and I mentioned this in one of my recent videos as well. I think probably the Burnout video. I can't remember. I just be freaking yapping. Okay. I don't remember which video I spoke about it, but, I think one of the big takeaways that I found from Marcus Aurelius's meditations, was kind of like the intentional kind of discomfort, making sure that you're not becoming gluttonous, making sure that you're doing things that are of service to others. But I think it's really important is like to keep challenging yourself. Without challenge, it's easy to fall into complacency, and it's easy. That is a very slippery slope towards greed, I think. So I thought that was really interesting. I thought that basically keeping the mindset of choosing actions to be of service to others, and how that is the best way to get purpose in life is through being of service to others, through helping community. You just have to make sure it's not coming from a place of lack. Like it shouldn't be coming from a place of, I have to people please, otherwise I might not be accepted. Like that's not the messaging there. You should be of service to others because it encourages you to be the best version of yourself through trying to uplift others. And I always lose my train of thought on stream, you guys. I was making a point. I was cooking, I think. But basically, it's way too easy. Once you start getting too self-centered, it's easy to fall into greed. It's easy to fall into like a bit of a pattern of wanting, just acting in self-service, in self-serving ways that is a net negative on society, in my opinion. Yeah. Be there for others, but the first other that you have to be there for is yourself. Exactly. You still got to put your oxygen mask on first. Yeah. You still always have to put your oxygen mask on first, but I think it's really good. I think it's really helpful to feel like you're contributing to something that is bigger than yourself, is what I'm trying to say. I think yeah, I think it's easy to fall into some bad patterns if you don't do that. Also, Blue Knight, thank you so much for the tier 1. I appreciate it. Hero, thank you so much for the 3 months. 2 months at tier 1. I appreciate it. And Abu, thank you so much for gifting 3 months of tier 1 to Oetsy. That's very generous. And Abu, thank you so much for resubbing for 6 months. Y'all, I'm excited. It's nice. Is Bash mad at me, huh? What determines what is the best of yourself? Is there a truth outside of us that is eternal? I think... Ooh, you guys, we're getting philosophical. How do you know that you are your best version of yourself? I'd say, what is measurable impact that you can have, that you can strive for? And I think the best version of yourself is what enables you to get to that in a way that allows you to kind of uplift others and or doesn't come at the cost of others. Yeah. Thank you, Abu. I appreciate that. Thank you. But I think it's also easy to think that to be the best version of yourself, you have to be without fault. I think that it is inherently human to have fault. I think that it's okay to make mistakes. I don't think you always necessarily need to like preemptively make sure that you are never going to make a mistake. My mic is being a bit strange. Oh, there's a chance that my settings are like clipping my words. Hold on. Hold on. I think it's my noise gate probably. Let me lower. All right, it should be better now. My guess is that it's probably clipping myself. Yeah, I think that if you try to chase perfection, it's also easy to fall into, it can fall into like some bad thought patterns and stuff too, where you hold yourself to an impossible standard. Not that I know anything about that. No. But yeah, I think it's okay to make mistakes, and I think you don't need to be hard on yourself for making mistakes. I think the best thing that you can do is strive to make like the best decisions that you can with the information that you have at any given point in time. Like you're always going to look back. You're going to be able to think of like, could have handled this differently, could have handled this better, could have made X decision and, not had to deal with the consequences of making the wrong choice. But I think at the end of the day, as long as you're able to look back and think and know that you made the decisions that you did because of the information that you had at the time and you just did your best, like you have to have some grace. I feel ripped off. I thought this chick was a Yankee. I'm a Canadian. Canada. Oui, oui. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Eric. I don't fault anyone for mistakes. I think it's a big part of a human experience is mistakes. And I think I'm hoping that's something that we kind of relearn through this age of AI is the beauty in very human experiences. Wait, straight camera versus side camera. What's the meta? Is this because I keep changing my camera setup? What do you mean? I don't know that there is a meta. I think there's so much more to content creation that is mostly about just it's self-expression. At the end of the day, it's just a means of expression. Like I could look and copy what other people are doing that makes success for them, but why be a replica when you can be an original, Like you don't, I think that's part of what's beautiful about the internet and content is the ability for people to have their own voice and, you know, find people that resonate on, that resonate with that. You're not alone in that. Is there a tag on me that says made in China? No, this is YouTube. It says YouTube, but I should put the little face there. You can't see them. You can't see them as well anymore. I could probably bring them up a bit, but whatever. Would you consider AI a new paradigm for human interactions / relations? Unfortunately, yes, but I don't think that's the a good thing. I think a lot of business people are kind of trying to make it that, and it's not a good not a good play. All right, you guys, I have a couple more things I want to talk about. Hold on. We got to research some stuff too. I got to think about the co-working. I think I'd want like a different angle maybe for co-working so that it's like you guys can see my setup a bit better. You look like a different person from that side. You even speak in a different way. Maybe I'm crazy. I mean, there's a chance. I have a deviated septum from when I almost broke my nose as a kid. So there's a chance that my face looks different. That's how you know I'm human. All right. Hashtag not AI. All right. So let's do something real quick. Hold up 3 fingers in front of your face. This is my left hand. I'm not mirrored, I don't think. Am I mirrored? No, but I'm mirrored at my coding scuff now, where it says no signal. Ooh. Okay. So let's do a quick little retro on. I did jump into the AI, my thoughts on AI a little bit. Guys, I keep talking about that and then being like too nervous to actually post that as a video, but it's fine. It'll be what it is. I'm going to do a little short to give y'all a bit of an update on what I came back from a conference, like what my thoughts were on AI after attending a heavily AI centered focused conference. So give me 1 sec. I'll do that, and then I'll do a little more of a recap for open source that will fall within 60 seconds. Do you sneeze a lot? I do when I have allergies. Sometimes I get allergies. Okay. All right. Guys, I'm nervous. I don't know why I always get so nervous filming on stream. Okay. I recently went to a conference that it was heavily focused on AI. My main goal for that was to get a better understanding of how businesses are using AI and to talk to different engineers at those companies to see what their day-to-day looks like, because there's so much that's being said online, like on Twitter, for example, that is amplifying this messaging that developer jobs are being completely replaced by AI. I personally haven't had that experience. I think it's a great tool, but I still think that there's a lot that we need to learn and that it's not replacing learning. I wanted to put that to the test by asking other people that are working at big companies like Disney and Vercel and Shopify, Linear, AWS, and get their thoughts on what that really means. So the overarching conclusion that I came to, and this surprised me, was they said they feel comfortable using AI heavily at their place of work because they have experience to back it. So I think this is part of why we are seeing a lot of big figureheads in the software development space on Twitter, for example, that have multiple decades of experience that you could say are some of the, not quite founding fathers necessarily of software engineering, but maybe of the modern software engineering processes as we know it. And a lot of them are leaning really heavily into the using AI. And we're looking to them for direction on this. but they're giving a bit of a skewed example of how you can use AI because of their experience. So the resounding conclusion that I came to is that if you are newer to programming or you're trying to learn something, AI cannot replace that. You still need to run into the walls to understand why certain optimizations exist, why you wrote bad code that is now no longer maintainable, and you have to completely restructure and pivot. Those are not able to be replaced by AI. What it can do is it can facilitate bringing you access to different resources. You can use it as an assistant, but getting it to write things for you at that point of But getting it to write things for you at that level of experience and skill is not going to give you the best returns in the long run. A lot of the senior and staff engineers that I spoke to at this conference said that a lot of their day-to-day does look like reviewing other people's contributions to make sure that it is still up to their standard, which still requires that upfront learning. If you are in university, if you are a junior, I really hope that you don't get discouraged or abuse this tool, because you're still going to have to learn these things and it's going to catch up to you if you don't. So it's not necessarily the whole you're not going to make it if you don't use AI rhetoric doesn't necessarily hold true. I do think that it can give you a lot of speed, but strong foundations are timeless. So do make sure that you're still learning. Do make sure that you still have that hunger. Do make sure that you still have do make sure that you're still challenging yourself so that your brain doesn't get complacent. Okay, that was really long. That was really long. That was so much longer than I thought I was gonna be. Okay, let me try. I'm gonna try one more time. I think I can make it shorter. Okay, I might actually hide chat for a sec while I do this. It was much longer. I was like, oh yeah, I'll make it like 30 to 60 seconds. And then it's like, that was minutes, I'm pretty sure. Okay. So at the end of June, I went to a heavily AI-focused developer event. And my main goal with attending this event was to figure out how big companies like Disney and Amazon, Shopify, how they're all using AI in their processes. I spoke to a lot of different software developers, and it did actually surprise me that a lot of them were advocating for students and juniors to still learn hands-on. Like, you still need to run into those walls, learn why certain optimizations exist, potentially have to rewrite your entire project because you wrote it in a way that is not maintainable. You can't escape those lessons. But if you're a staff engineer or a senior engineer, you're a lot more likely to feel okay with adopting AI more heavily as part of your workflow because you already have that foundation of skills. Because you already have those foundational skills. Now we're trying to look to our elders now we're trying to look at, we're all trying to look to figureheads in the industry for guidance on how to best use this tool, but we can't forget that their decades worth of experience can also alter their advice based on AI. But we can't forget that their multiple decades of experience will also influence their suggestions around how to use AI. So to make a long story short, you have to keep learning without AI. Use it as an assistant. Once you already have really strong foundations, use it to your heart's content. You'll be fine. But don't let the fear-mongering prevent you from learning whatever it is you need to learn, and that will take time and it will be difficult. But stick with it, and I hope to see whatever it is that you're building. Please share it with me in the comments. And I hope that this video can give you some accountability. Please share with me in the comments what you're building and what your schedule is going to be to keep leveling up as a software developer. Okay, I don't know. I tried. I tried. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how that turns out when I edit it. How funny. Wait, how did you guys like that last time, like because I filmed the Emacs and Nick's videos on stream, you know? I filmed those on stream. How interesting was it for you as viewers to see like the scuffed AF live version of that, to see that actually came out to a proper video? Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Some of y'all be fucking weird in YouTube chat. Okay, am I surprised? No. Oh, actually, wait. I meant to test something. Hello, YouTube. YouTube. That is so funny. Yeah. Oh, channel activity. Oh, wait. They did add it. What the heck? Interesting. Ooh, y'all are in for a treat. I can properly moderate you now. YouTube got proper moderation. I didn't know that you could look at the message history from people on YouTube. That's new. It's fine for a second monitor stream. I've peaked. Okay, I'm gonna ban you too because you're annoying. Have you tried that? Have you tried not being annoying? I don't think so. Boo! All right. If it makes you feel better, you're on my main monitor at the moment, Queen. Let's freaking go! Yo, who in the chat is going to TwitchCon? I will be there. I'll be at TwitchCon this year, as I am most years. Hey. Maybe I should give away. Do you guys? Okay. If you want, I can probably bring some. Stickers. I still have like 1 million charm stickers. Maybe I can give them away. I have like too many, like hundreds. You know. Hello, Aaron. Aaron. Oh, no Twitch chat on the stream. You're so right. We banished them. Too far away, I'm afraid. One day I'll go to the Europe one. One day G will get through to me. Oh my God, wait. Also, Vim Richie, thank you so much for gifting a sub to Jotello. Also, I think someone gifted earlier and I missed it. Vim Richie, thank you so much for the 5 gifted community subs. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. I think there was some subs that we got while I was yapping. I was locked in on the yaps. Also, what kind of stuff you guys interested in for my framework review? I think they're coming out with like more in-depth specs and stuff soon. Like they're going to be publishing their own. I mean, you guys, I'm not a hardware girly, okay? I'm not out here like running hardware performance tests and stuff. Oh my God, wait, Arya, thank you so much for the raid. Thank you. How's it going? Everybody give Arya a follow. Hello, what were you up to? Spill the tea. Spill the tea, what's happening? Also, Manu, thank you so much for the tier 1. You guys, we're kind of just yapping today. I have a few things that I wanted to talk about. Mostly, I was talking about like AI and software, obviously. You know, like you go online, everyone's freaking talking about AI and software. But I wanted to share some of my thoughts with that, and it's a good thing actually for the people, the skeptics. It's a good day for them because I learned basically it's not replacing anybody, even at huge companies. Okay, Amazon, Disney, Linear, like so many of the big ones. It's not replacing it. Okay, we are still allowed to learn to code, and it is still valuable. So we're talking about that. We're talking about how I'm going to stream more because I've decided that streamers are kind of my favorite content creators. My faves, my freaking faves. And I'm like, you know what? Let's not sleep on the community that we can get here. I want to hang out with more streamers, which is like shocking because I also feel like streamers, you say you're a streamer, people think you're like a clip farmer. You're like the clip farmers that are like being disruptive, chaotic people in society, but not that kind of streamer. Okay. Okay. Oh, is the tail skill? Okay, there's a chance. Nightbot and I we had a fight. Okay. Played a puzzle game and then got distracted watching Julia get lost in the forest. And then, yeah, oh my God. Is she lost in the forest? She's so brave. She's so brave. I love her. Just don't hang out with G because she might get you lost in the forest. Well, so I've gone in the forest with G and it's perfect because I like being in the forest and she likes getting us lost in the forest. So it's perfect. I love G. I miss her so much. I'm so excited to see her at TwitchCon. Arya, what kind of puzzle game? What games do you like? Yo, what's the meta? Should we play Mecha Chameleon? Should we do some freaking games? But I'm trying to. But I might be streaming at like super not European friendly times for that. Grr. Will you ever do some Twitch collaborations with other streamers? I think I want to more. Yeah. Cause I want to hang out with more creators and the Twitch people are homies. If you're playing Mecha, I will get out of bed and join. It'd be very fun. We Europeans are going to bed. Yeah. Okay, good night, Arya. Good night. Good night. Did someone say Mecha? Yeah. But we can definitely get Kelly to play because she's like, I think she would lock in for DGen time. Okay. Let's see. What's another little retro that I have? Okay, another couple things that I'm interested in. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about my open source thing. Let's try to do. I played with Kelly last week. She's so fun. She's so great. Okay, this is what I love about streamers too. They're the same in person. They're the freaking same. When I met Kelly at TwitchCon, I'm like, you're fucking electric. You're electric. Love her. I hope she's having a great holiday. Just taking a little break. So nice. Menu, thank you so much for the 5 months, by the way. Gio, thank you for the 6 months. I appreciate it. Also, Blue Knight, thank you for the tier 1. I'm trying. I don't know who I've thanked. 01101, thank you so much for the prime. Mountain, thank you very much for the prime. Okay, I'm trying so much. I'm trying the most. Oh my God. Are you for real? Okay, Marius is saying, but the forest that G is lost in is considered haunted. The forest is named Hoi Baku Forest. According to legend, the Hoi Baku Forest is a hotspot of paranormal phenomena. Many ghost stories and urban legends contribute to its popularity as a tourist attraction. Skeptics say these are just stories for entertainment and lack any testable evidence. Yo, I hope she sees Bigfoot. I hope she sees Bigfoot in there. Put it to rest, you know? Maybe G is the Bigfoot. Maybe she Bigfoot. No, I'm just kidding. G has adorable tiny feet, okay? Yo, that'd be sick. Yo, we could turn into, imagine she's pivoting to like horror content. She does like the Blair Witch Diary kind of vibe. Oh my God, I hope she does that just to mess with chat. How funny would that be? I'm gonna be honest. I think I would have to I think I would be compelled. If I was in a haunted forest, I would have to mess with you. Imagine. That'd be sick. Oh man, I'm getting FOMO. Start pretending like I'm in the Blair Witch Project. The chat being like, is she okay? And I'm being like, running through the forest. I'd have to figure out, what kind of ghost would we see? Emacs is great. Follow Emacs Enjoyer. Wait, hello. Yo, Abu, thank you so much for gifting 3 months to Arun. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Quit Emacs because no one at work used it. You pulled me back. I can only offer thanks. Let's go. I swear, I was actually looking at potentially getting like an in-editor AI integration thing, you know, just to see, because I'm like, what's the other side living like? Okay. I hear so much. I'm like, I got no freaking, I don't have a real job. All right. It's my job to just like do all of the yak shaving activities that you guys want. You know what I mean? It's like, what would my chat want to waste their time doing? And then I'll be like, well, I'll try it for them and then we can figure it out. So I was like, okay, the grass is really green over there. People saying they're using they like having it in their editor. So I was like, maybe I get a plugin or something for Emacs. And then I was like, you know what? I'm using the freaking cursor CLI next to Emacs. And I'm like, this is fine. I don't get it to generate code for me. It's fine. Did you ever consider writing blogs, either tech or personal blogs? I actually am working on getting my blog set up properly. Proper blog set up. The only thing is, where am I at with that? Hold on. I can give y'all an update. Let's see. I was messing around with it just for funsies. Because also Elm has so many good, like, design decisions. Elm is a very carefully designed language. And I respect that. I freaking respect that. So I was working on that. But I got to work on it a little bit more because I think I might do a video going over like what Elm did right, what Elm didn't do. You know, I'm like the pros and cons of Elm kind of thing. Where am I at with that? Oh, I think, okay. So I basically updated Blossom, which is Blossom is like kind of a standalone application that I built so that you can manage your blog posts and stuff. So you can see like your predicted posting schedule. It uses front matter from your markdown files. So basically you can have a markdown file. Okay, you guys, I can't even show you because my setup is scuffed. I just got home last night. But basically you can use you would set like a date in the front matter for your markdown file, which is basically just like the metadata that you have at the top of your markdown file. You can set a date there, and then you can see like a content calendar of like when all of these things are supposed to get posted. So you can work on them according to, like, you can prioritize them based on when you want to post them. And then I also have that so it can export to it. You can set in a YAML file all the blog posts that you have that you want to make public, and then you can have it export all of them to HTML. So it'll sync up all of the public ones, all of the public blog posts that are currently in Markdown. It'll write them to a specific, like, whatever path you've given as the output for your RSS and blog file and blog posts. It'll write them to HTML, it'll generate an RSS feed, and it also now writes to JSON, which is a new feature that I added that I haven't pushed upstream. I'm like notorious for not pushing my changes, I'm gonna be honest. Especially like when I'm solo deving stuff, I'm just like, I don't know. Yeah, so I added the JSON support so that my Elm application that I have for my personal blog can read the JSON file, because apparently that is more compatible with Elm. Like, there's no point in me going over, like, getting the metadata from each of the markdown files again. So we're not doing that. So that is the new feature that I added, but then I still need to figure out in Elm how to, like, pull in that data. I'm going to guess that I have to basically pull it in for the init for my blog model is my guess, but I haven't quite figured out how to, like, read files and stuff in Elm. So that is the next thing that I'm going to learn. I did actually, part of why I decided to, like, dive into Elm again is because Iced, which Valentine just said you should try some desktop UI stuff in the Iced framework with Rust, which is inspired by the Elm architecture. Yes, so that is actually on my list of things that I want to, like, try out with Rust is Iced. But then I'm a little bit rusty with like all the Elm stuff, meaning that whole like workflow. Like it's been a minute since I wrote even like a bubble tea application. Also, there were a lot of workarounds to make the like Elm architecture like Go-ified in the Go ecosystem. So it's been fun learning it, kind of like the pure Elm architecture and the decisions around that compared to how it works in Go. So yeah. So I will probably build something with Iced and Rust. That is on my list of things that I really want to do. For sure. But yeah, that's the latest of what I was kind of working on while I was away, just for funsies. But yeah. So I am still planning, I do want to try and finish the shell in Rust so that I can do a bit of a retrospective. Have you contributed anything to Open Sauce? I was part of one of their main stage events with Prime, TJ, Doug, Code Bullet, and Internet Commentary. That was very fun. Open Sauce, I was mostly earlier just sharing my thoughts on Open Sauce. I think I should probably refilm a touch with in a shorter format, because I think I was kind of mostly just yapping. I didn't really do it in a way that I can repurpose in any way, shape, or form. Have I ever played with Clojure or Lisp? No, but it is on the list. There's so many things I'm freaking curious about. It's just like it's not on the priority list quite yet. Is Open Sauce an actual company? It's an event. Yeah. So it's basically like an engineering event. So it's anything across like software engineering, hardware engineering, including robotics and stuff, game development, and aerospace engineering. It's very cool. It's a great, like, the event itself is awesome. I really liked it. I think if you're going there though to meet like creators, it's very different than like even TwitchCon. For example, like TwitchCon, you meet people, like people are just around. You can chat to anybody, you make friends. It's very community focused. I think Open Sauce is much more like focused on the tech specifically or networking in more of a professional setting, I want to say. Yeah, but Lisp, I think that the only stuff I've done with Lisp, like, really is when I was reading, I need to finish reading it, you guys. I need some accountability. Well, not even accountability. I just need to be consistent. I want to finish reading the structure and interpretations of computer programs, and that is in Lisp, or like a Lisp, a certain kind of Lisp. I haven't really had to do much eLisp. I think I've like copied and pasted some people's solutions. I can read eLisp, like I understand it, but I have never actually built anything useful from it. Okay, Lithium says, oof, I went to TwitchCon and then took a Prime to Korean barbecue. It was fun. Didn't like the Twitch part of it. So what's interesting is I think TwitchCon, okay, let's compare TwitchCon to Open Sauce. So TwitchCon, I think, is a more community-centric experience. Like, most people are there to hang out, to talk to their friends, to meet new people. That's kind of like the intention of why people are attending TwitchCon. Open Sauce, by contrast, is maybe a bit more of like networking focused, and it's a bit more based on the booths themselves and what the presentations at Open Sauce are very cool. It's very inspiring to see all of the really creative projects that people are building. I would say the floor, the expo itself at Open Sauce is more interesting generally than the expo at TwitchCon. Like the TwitchCon floor is very like sponsor focused versus the Open Sauce floor is very community focused, meaning it's based on like what people have been building, which is interesting. But what's interesting is I think like the mindset of a lot of the people that attend / like the social side of the con, Open Sauce feels more networking and wanting to talk to potential sponsors or create job opportunities or whatever. Like it's more kind of professional on that front, less social. Whereas TwitchCon is more social and less kind of traditionally networky. That makes sense. So it's an interesting comparison. Yeah, that's what I would say between the two. Yeah, I think it's like for open source, like I would go again for the events, like go there, try a bunch of different, for open source, I would go again just to try all the different games, like the indie games that people were building were incredible. If I want to go somewhere and leave feeling really inspired by the creativity of other people that are in the industry, open source is really awesome to attend for that. It's a really great way too to see some like the newest innovations of what's going on in the space. You get a lot of people that have just kind of like been building robotics in their garage. And then you also get some companies that are like very specific to facilitating building and builders. So that is kind of cool, is like, if you want to figure out how to get started with, like doing more hardware focused builds, or even just like getting started in robotics or, game development, whatever, there's a lot of people you can talk to that have those kind of overlapping interests. But I think if you're going to like with the intention of like being social, making friends, it's kind of like, I think that TwitchCon makes a stronger case for like that social element, which is interesting. It's like less so about the con at TwitchCon. It's like less so about the con itself and more about the activities around the con, which is interesting. Versus, open source was more about the con, I think, or more interesting. Yeah. Yeah. It was very cool though. I just wish that there were more like crafts activities. Like you had the ability to solder your badge and add like lights and stuff like that, which was really cool. But the line, it was like inaccessible. Like you could not, the lineup to solder your badge was insane. So I wish they kind of like gave that a little bit more room or attention. Cause I think that at a nerd con, like you need an activity that can unite people. Like I think that's what TwitchCon can do well, is I remember a lot of the events that I attended at TwitchCon where like they would have some activity that you can do together, versus at open source, some of the, like it was a lot of all the social things were just like, it was like drinking and talking, which like I don't really drink very much. But I do like talking, but it's like, it's a very different experience to like you don't, I personally find like, I don't think you connect as deeply with people when you just like stand around talking and drinking, versus if you're going and you're like doing crafts together, or even if you were sitting and like soldering together, I feel like you would have a more natural kind of thing of like, it's more forgiving of like silences in the conversation, or like you don't have to have like the most insane like social skills. Yeah. Let's inhale solder fumes together. That's what I'm saying, copy. That's what I'm freaking saying. Yeah. Yeah, right, Lithium? I'm the same. I'm like, I think like the whole weekend I maybe had, and this was like, I was there Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. I think in total I maybe had like 2 drinks, 3 drinks. I don't even think I think I literally just had 2 drinks. I drank on the Saturday night. I had 2 drinks over the span of like the whole night, And that was because I was like, this is sponsored. I know that this is going to be these. I was like, I know that they're going to be freaking cooking. These are going to be like the best cocktails I've ever had. I'm like, this is probably like a $25 cocktail each, I'm like, I'm not taking it. I like getting things for free. Okay. I'm just a person. Okay. I'm just a girl. I like free things. But that was, again, it was an open bar. That's why. Yeah. There was a lot of the events were around open source or like open bar, which crazy thing though. Cause I'm like, okay. I was like, I don't want to, if you're like really drunk, I don't necessarily want to talk to people when they're super wasted. I'm not into that. Bring the claws, the white claws. If you like talking, you gotta like drinking a social lubricant. I don't need it. I'd be yapping. Actually, sometimes what I'll do in like different situations, I don't think there's really very much pressure around drinking anymore, because like so much of like my generation does not drink, and like yeah, like a lot of people don't drink now, like it's very normal. But what I'll do if I'm in a situation where it's like kind of feels like there's a little bit of pressure, I'll literally just get like soda water. I'll just be like, can you give me like some sparkling water and a lime? And I'll like pretend it's a gin and tonic. You know, it's like you just, nah. I'm so good. I'm so fine. I be yapping. You guys, I talk to myself. I'm talking to myself. It's been 2 hours. Okay. I don't need nothing to yap. You know, I got no freaking shame. Yeah. Human check, passed or failed. But like, that's the thing is I'm like, cause you guys know I did an event with GitHub a while back and it was awesome. It was great. I think the best thing that I did at that event, and this was like the main thing that I wanted to facilitate is I was like, some people like, sometimes you're tired. Sometimes you're like, we're devs, you know, it's like we can talk, but also I don't like when the outcome of a social engagement hinders completely on your social skills. I think that is like that's a big weight to carry. So what I did is when I did this event with GitHub, it's like every corner of the venue, there was some activity that you could do that would like be a shared activity that you can do so that you don't have to necessarily like, it'll naturally like create a relationship, create some kind of dynamic without having to completely have like a ton of overlapping interests or a ton of things to talk about. There was Mario Kart, which was awesome. That was very fun. And I was like, it was very funny because it was basically when I did this, when I did this event with GitHub, I got Mario Kart on their like huge projector that they have at their headquarters. And I had a microphone and I was just like antagonizing the people that were playing. Just shit talking them, you know, the way we do. Okay. Just being like, damn, I can't believe you lost to a bot. That's crazy. And then like, you know, whatever, like the same way that like Toxic Bunny was out. Okay. Same way that I antagonized you guys. Did that. We had ping pong. We had, I think foosball. There were, I think cornhole. Like basically it's like every corner had like some activity to do so that like there was, it felt very much like there was no areas and there was obviously like food. It was like catered and everything. But there were like no areas that were like everyone was necessarily like bottlenecked at. And that was really fun. But it was very fun because I found like Mario Kart was a fun way to like pin kind of like, it created these like rivalries for people that like didn't necessarily have to have like a super big conversation with each other or like didn't know each other very long, but it like created enough of like a shared experience that they were like rivalries, you know, in a fun way to where like we did a raffle at the end where I think they were giving away like a few Keychron keyboards, like different merch, like a bunch of different GitHub merch and stuff. And during the raffle, it's like you could see the people that had like played the game together where they would like, one of them would win because you could win tickets as well. Like you could win additional raffle tickets depending on where you placed in Mario Kart. But you could see like different people that had like created rivalries with each other, and they were like, when one of them would win, like one of them got like one of the raffle tickets or something. It was very cute. It was very cute. And I think that we need more I feel like we need more dev events that are just like focused around activities. Like activities are so freaking good for social things. But yeah, I love yapping. Abu says, bro, last year Bash was jumping around yapping. Everyone can confirm. Yeah. I love meeting people and chatting. Yeah. You know, it would be very funny though, if you do that, if you set up a dev event and it's just like, it's Risk, it's just risk at every single table, and you're like stuck in like a 4-hour risk game. I don't know why I think that would be very funny. Actually, you know what? Apparently, actually has a really good community around it. Magic the Gathering. Do any of you play Magic? I'm getting into it. I'm locking in. Which event would you say had the perfect balance of that? Well, mine. No, I'd say, yeah, I mean, I did really like my event. I think Carrot also throws really good events. I've gone to a few of them, and theirs, they'll usually have, they'll have, it's very activity centric. They'll have like multiple different crafts tables, all of it, yeah. Sometimes they'll have, like different sports like pickleball or whatever. Is this Began's influence? Shockingly, no. But if Began told me I should play Magic, I probably would have gotten on it even faster. Shockingly not. Yeah, discussing the ways Risk could be upgraded from a software dev perspective. Over-engineering Risk. You guys, I think it'd be very fun for us to play games together in a way of like chat versus me, and you train like similar to what we did at Open Sauce, where it's like but I say that as if you guys were there. Okay. Basically like you guys, you have chat messages. I'll set like a timer or something. You have chat messages, you direct the player on how they should play, and then I play against them. I think it could be sick. I think we need more chat against Bunny. Okay, what did I think? Okay, little Open Sauce recap. I gotta film that still for a short. I don't have any other stuff that I really need to share necessarily today. I don't know if I have, I don't know if I have, like, if it makes sense for me to do like co-working after this necessarily, because a lot of people I think are done work. Where even are we? Holy shit. Judy, thank you so much for the 10 gifted. What the heck? Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh my God. Also, Margie, thank you so much for the Prime. I'm so sorry I missed that. Thank you. Thank you, Judy. I appreciate it. You guys, I swear, I'm going to reach out to this guy. Okay, it was streamhavoc.com. He gave me a tiny hands, which is going to be awesome. Oh, I got these actually. This is part of the haul of things that I got from Open Sauce as well. They're like brass, they're brass keycaps. So this one, wait, where's my finger? This one? Oh wait, this one with the face, you can use on your keyboard. This one is, that's if you want to turn it into a fidget. But they're brass, they're awesome. I know, Abu, I saw this and I was like, I'm so excited to have those little explainer videos with just the little finger, you know? Do you guys know the one where it's just like, there's something obvious, or like, you know, they're like explaining something and they just go. That could be me. Yeah. But I think it'd be very fun to get one of the, I can't remember what they're called again. The little inflatable guys that go like this at the car stations, at the car sales lots. You know, the ones. I'm like, it'd be so fun to get one of those that go off whenever there's like gifted subs or like new subs or something. I think it'd be sick. They gotta be MX keys and can't change my keycaps. Wait, what? What do you mean? What do you mean? Wait, also, Marius, are you the have we spoken before? Are we the Marius? Is you the Marius that I spoke to on Element? Is this an ASMR stream? No. I think it's, oh. That's actually awesome. Wait. You. It is not an ASMR stream. No. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. But yeah, I think I'm gonna like reach out to them. I want like something in the background would be so fun for like gifteds and whatever. Cause sometimes I'm not a good streamer and I forget. Okay. Abu, thank you so much for, I did thank you. Thank you for gifting the subs. I appreciate that. And Judy, thank you so much for the 10 gifted. You're so generous. I really appreciate it. Okay. All right, you guys, let's do a quick little recap of open source. And then I'm going to do the coding streams. Are still going to be on Thursdays. I just might throw in some additional streams in the evenings. So if you're trying to keep up your stream streaks, I'm giving you a heads up. I didn't even announce that I was live today. Okay, that's my bad. I'll work on that. What is open source? Don't worry, I'll give you a little recap. Okay. I don't even know if I already filmed this, but we're gonna try again. I think we spoke one time on Instagram. Okay, I'll have to look through my Instagram. Cause I don't know if you're the one that I've spoken about your blog like a million times. I have no idea. Okay. So let's do it. All right. Open source retrospective. All right. All right. I went to open source this past weekend, and if you aren't aware of what open source is, it's pretty much the mecca of conventions that you can go to if you are an engineer of any kind. They have booths for aerospace engineering, game development, hardware development like robotics and stuff like that. It's, if you want to see the latest in the industry, different sponsors that are there are pretty much different sponsors that are there are often companies that are facilitating you. Oh my God, I can't talk. Hello? Okay, hold on. Rewind. We start again. Okay. This past weekend, I was at Open Source, and if you're not familiar with what Open Source is, it is pretty much the conference. It is pretty much the convention that you'll want to attend if you're interested in engineering. There are entire sections of the expo that are oriented around aerospace engineering, game development, hardware development, including robotics, and just so much more. If you're into science and technology, this is the mecca of events that you can probably attend. Even every single one of the sponsors seem to be oriented towards facilitating access to robotics, to being able to 3D print whatever you might need to bring your creations to life. I left feeling incredibly inspired by all of the booths that were there. So if it is something that you're considering, I would highly recommend looking into it. I will say, I think the biggest thing that stood out to me that kind of surprised me was I think the expo itself was outstanding. If you're going there to meet your favorite creator, you are probably not going to see them. There's a bit more of a separation I found between creators and the general expo experience. Just from my comparison to my experience at TwitchCon, where it becomes very heavily integrated and is very like community centric in that way. A lot of creators go to TwitchCon for the explicit purpose of like making more friends, versus open source is a little bit different. The creators have kind of their own separate area where they have booths and stuff in that area. So yeah, just if you're going with that expectation in mind, you'll probably want to maybe get like a VIP badge or whatever, so you can definitely do the meet and greets after people get on stage. But a lot of creators are not like walking around the expo as much as I kind of expected. At Open Source, which is the mecca of events that you could pretty much go to if you're interested in science and technology, I was on stage with the Primogen, TJ, Doug, Code Bullet, and the Internet Commentary, all of which are incredibly nice people. And we decided, and Prime and TJ actually built out a game so that the audience could play versus each other. So they scanned a QR code, and then they started prompting an agent to tell it how to play Super Smash Bros. Melee. This was really entertaining. Each of the featured creators, including Doug, Code Bullet, Internet Commentary, and myself, we all had our own teams, and we had to fight each other in Super Smash Bros. Melee. Okay, I think I'm going to restructure that one. Okay, let's start that one from the beginning. This past weekend, I was at Open Source, which is pretty much the mecca of conventions that you could attend if you're interested in science and technology. It was incredibly inspiring, and it was really fun because my friends Primogen and TJ brought me on stage with Doug, Code Bullet, and Internet Commentary to battle these other creators in Super Smash Bros. Melee. But it wasn't quite the same way that you would expect, okay? We weren't playing conventionally. We actually had our own sections of the audience that were on our team. And we had to tell them what we wanted them to do, / encourage them to give us their best performance possible. They were actually prompting an agent to tell that agent how to win at Super Smash Bros. Melee. We all chose characters in advance. There was Jigglypuff, Donkey Kong, I was Captain Falcon, and Fox. And it was really fun because you had to be so explicit to tell this AI how to play the game. For example, one thing that we found out was that if you're hanging off the edge of the arena, there is no default behavior to bring you back onto the platform. So you would just hang there indefinitely, which was kind of funny. But I did end up landing my team ended up landing my team ended up landing a killer Falcon Punch, getting all 3 of my opponents off the stadium. At one point, my team ended up landing an awesome Falcon Punch. That was like a big part of our strategy, was just Falcon Punch, prioritize Falcon Punch whenever you can. And at one point it hit and it blasted all 3 of our opponents off the platform. It was really fun, and thank you so much, Prime and Teej, for including me in that. And it was very fun to attend Open Sauce and check out what it was like to be on stage. All right, we'll see how that ends up in post. Why does Bash Bunny pop up in my YouTube shorts with a different hair color? YouTube be pushing my shorts from before I changed my hair color. It's a pretty recent change, only like a couple months ago. Internet comment etiquette. What was I calling him? I think I was just calling him comment etiquette or internet comment, right? I think that's okay. It's so long. I'll tag them. It's fine. Falcon Punch. I thought it would be a bunny punch. You're so right. Should have been. They didn't know me. I was just their hype girl. My team. They're like, this is the first time hearing of you, but we're going to win. We're going to freaking win. Does anyone know a good online AI model that's free and no registration? I was using Copilot Online to debug. Now they want registration. I think all of them you have to register. I could be wrong. I'm trying out Cursor right now. Oh man, Aaron, that's a whole other, that is such a can of worms. Aaron asked, do you have a video on how you discover events and which events are worth going to? It's so hard to find out what is worth going to. It's so hard to discover what events are fun. Let's see. Most of the things that I'm attending this year are either it's like something to see friends. So like TwitchCon, I'll be at TwitchCon, Open Sauce. I also have some events that I'll be at because I've worked with the company that's hosting it. So I'll be at Tailscale Up, for example, at the end of August. And I was at the Vercells conference at the end of June. But yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to figure out. I would love to go to RustCon because that's happening also in Montreal, which is really fun and an awesome city. If you've never been to Montreal, it's insane. Yeah, I would love to go to that as well, but I don't know realistically like how much travel I can make. But yeah, finding events and stuff that's like worth attending also depends on what your goals are. But yeah, I really like conferences. They're very fun. I love GitHub Universe. GitHub Universe was a really fun one to attend as well. It's obviously very like GitHub centric, Like if you're, it was, when I went, at least, this was like in 2020, I want to say it was 2023. It was very GitHub centric, which means like you're going to be learning a lot about like GitHub products and stuff. Like that's what most of the talks are going to be about. So typically like it would be, usually if it's a topic that you resonate with, or like something that you actually use day to day, you're curious to hear more about it, like definitely I'd try to prioritize that kind of thing. There's a lot of really good like GopherCon stuff like that. I think ones that are around languages are a really good one to attend, because there's just going to be so much variety. Like even actually LaraCon was a great energy as well. I feel like I'm not at events. I always feel like I'm not at events that are good for me. I like activities and I like learning. I like focused subjects. I mean, a lot of conferences I think are very focused on learning. That was actually one thing that I wished I saw more of. Like, so the VersailCon that I went to at the end of June, they had like workshops, which I thought was great because they had workshops running all day, but it was first come, first serve. And there was like a lineup for the workshops. So most of the time, like I didn't even get to attend a single one because it was just like, it was so packed. Like people would line up like half an hour before it started, and it would just be like, you know, too many people for that. But I think workshops and stuff, like there's a lot of conferences that do, you know, active skill development stuff. I find too many events are sales, trying to focus on selling products. That's interesting. I haven't found that at any of the conferences that I attended. I think it depends maybe though. I'll see how it's like at Tailscale Up, but I think Tailscale is a pretty pragmatic, like, I would be very surprised if it was very salesy, because they're just not, that's not really their culture. I think it's going to be pretty technical. Lithium says, I never got to attend GopherCon, but I always wanted to. I just had kids around the time that the first GopherCon came out. Yeah. I went to React Miami. These dudes kept trying to sell me coffee over the terminal. You're so right. You're freaking right. Everyone wants a freaking piece, you know? There's no real ones anymore. Coffee in the terminal? Sell me a real business, you know? Talk to me when you got a real business. All right? That sounds like some influencer BS, if you know what I mean. I told him to get a job. I don't know if they took your advice. I don't know that they took your advice. Freaking unemployed. You don't got a real job. Yeah. Watch out for them. One of them quit his job at Netflix. Oh my God. Is this the end of Fang? It is very cool, actually. The fact that they have like a proper, like a physical product business, that's a lot. That's a lot of work. I'm like, I don't know. I got so many, dude, I think I would be electric designing bags. Not even like handbags, but just like, I love like, I told you guys, I travel a lot, I fly a lot and stuff. I feel like I would design some very practical bags. I can't believe they threw a bag of coffee in your face. Dude, I need to find I have all of the footage for that. It was so funny because it was Adam that was throwing the bag, and I had to get someone else to throw the bag because Adam was like, he didn't want to hurt me. Then he kept throwing it too gently, and then it didn't look right. So I ended up actually getting like hit in the face more times with the coffee bag because he didn't want to, like, you know, it was so funny. I was like, dude, you're having the opposite effect here. I probably got hit in the face with the coffee bag like 12 times at least. It took so many takes. It was so funny. Oh, make a stream about bag design. Just browse your favorite brands and stuff on stream. That'd be very fun. We should do some like product review streams, you know? Because also I'm so freaking picky. I don't know about you guys. I'm kind of minimalist, you know? I'm like, everything that I own needs to have intention. Everything I own needs a freaking purpose, except for like candles or something. I'm like, well, this purpose is relaxation. but you know what I mean? I'm just like, I'm very minimalist. I like having things that are really well designed. I'm like, I will research things to the ends of the earth before I buy it, because I also am like, I feel so much guilt when I have to like get rid of something, especially like hardware and stuff, you know? Like even with Framework, they offered to send me a computer so much longer before I told them yes, because I was like, well, first let me try my like 7-year-old Lenovo computer and make sure if that, like, see if that works. I don't need it. I do actually have a video from before I left that I gotta edit together. I didn't have time to edit it before I left, but a little short or something. That's like everything that I brought with me in this bag. This was my personal item, this little guy. So this is like a luggage, it passed through. This one, honestly, pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. I gotta find, I think there's probably some room for improvement. But yeah. Can we address the elephant in the room? Yeah. Is it me? Am I the elephant? Is it the Go guy? Because I write Rust now. Which one is it? Are you an engineer? I would not call myself an engineer, okay? I'm a programmer. Engineer is a stretch, okay? Do you have a CS degree? I dropped out of my CS degree to work in software. So I always worked while I was during my degree. So I had already some years of experience in IT and tech. I dropped out of my CS degree because I was getting job offers for software development. And then I was like, you know what? I feel like I'm ready for a job as a software developer, like as a junior or whatever. Because I also already had done some contract work as a junior dev. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to say yes to this. The degree can wait. I'll say yes to this opportunity. I thought that I would be able to complete my degree while working as a software dev, but it was too much. Were you a streamer in uni? Yeah. Yeah, I was working and studying and streaming. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. Yeah, but I didn't make any additional content. Like I didn't start YouTube or anything until a while later. Like I only started streaming because I wanted time to work on side projects, because I was like, I knew that I needed to do side projects to learn and to keep growing. And I could feel it. Like I was like, at school, they give you so many projects that you have to work on, but it's so much of like, I feel like you are often asking yourself, like, when am I going to use this? How applicable is this to the real world? So I was like, I need to build my own thing from scratch. I need to learn that. And so I started streaming to give myself some level of accountability, where I was like, well, if I'm streaming, people expect me to show up, which whether that was true or not, I had like I think my first stream, I had like 2 viewers. People expect that from me. And I can't do work and I can't do school because I'm not going to share where I work and I'm not going to share school. So, yeah. Do you ever regret skipping the degree? I think timing wise, no. I think I did for a while. Like I went back and forth. I actually did try to make it work. Like even more recently, like while I was at Charm, I was like, maybe I'll just finish some of my additional, like I didn't have that many more classes that I needed to do to like, finish for me to finish like the first portion of it. So I was like, maybe I'll get back, like maybe I'll do it. And I just did not have the time. 'Cause it's one of those things too of like, now I don't even know how this happened. I don't even know how this like content thing happened. But like now I have an additional variable of things where I'm like, content is beneficial for my career, for me to like produce YouTube videos and for me to, stream and stuff like that it is beneficial even to my software development career. So it's kind of something like it is, I think, a better networking tool than pretty much anything else that I could do probably. And it wouldn't be smart of me to like give that up to finish school. Like, yeah, it's interesting. I think, and also with like the way that the industry has changed, it's kind of like if I had waited until I was actually done my degree to say yes to those opportunities, it would have set me back and it would have been a lot harder for me to get opportunity. So it's kind of interesting. Yo, what's up, Denny? Yeah, it's a very interesting thing. But I still like I think also what made me not regret it as much is I'm like, I can learn any of this anytime. I do know that there are gaps in my knowledge 100%. There are gaps in my knowledge from not finishing my degree, and I'm aware of that. So I try to make up for that where like I can teach myself anything. I'm very confident that I can teach myself anything. I know that I have access to all the same textbooks, all the same everything that I would get in school. The only thing that I don't have is, you know, that network of being able to talk to experts, which I get through my content, being able to ask questions to experts, which is an opportunity you get in school. Lectures, which are additional, like gives you way more context, gives you more almost like white glove service behind explaining these different concepts. But like, it's not like I did it's not like I skipped university completely. Like I spent, you know, a couple years. Yeah, I spent like a couple years in school. So it's not like I don't know what I'm missing. I just was confident enough also in my ability to keep myself accountable, be disciplined with things, that I knew that I could fill the gaps if and when I needed to. Yeah. So I think it depends a lot. It depends a lot on your personality as well. Like some people really benefit from that structure that school gives them. I personally never did. Like I often taught myself most of what I learned, like most of what I needed to learn anyway. I think that's kind of the thing in uni too, is like you learn how to learn if you didn't already know. You learn how to learn. You end up teaching yourself a lot of the concepts anyway, but the lectures and stuff are a great way to reinforce what you've taught, what you've learned. But lectures is, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I do think, I'm not saying that there's no value in school or anything like that for sure. I think it's a very valuable path. I just think it depends so much on your life, on the opportunities you have. University is what got me into CS. I did not know any software developers before going into school for it. I had never even spoken to a software developer before going to school for it. I just thought it sounded interesting. And I was always curious about how technology, like how, you know, I grew up gaming and I was like, how does this freaking work? I don't know. I was just curious. But I think it also depends too on, it depends, okay, so much on, you know, for me, it was always very stressful school because I always did it while working. So that was really stressful because I would have my like a full-time course load. And then also basically like when a lot of my other friends would go and have dinner, study, whatever, I had to go to my job and I was working in the restaurant industry at that time. And it was basically, I would go to my lectures. I'd wake up super early to do my homework. So I woke up at like, for a while I was waking up at like 5 and then I would try and do my homework. Cause it depended on the day. Some days I'd obviously, like I was working out, I was weightlifting, at 6 a.m. multiple days a week, but obviously not every day. So on the days that I wasn't weightlifting in the morning, I would basically wake up at 5, go straight to school, go straight to campus, and try and get as much homework as I could done during that time. And then I'd have my first lecture usually around 10 a.m. So I did have like a good amount of time in the morning. And then, basically, you know, lectures, in between lectures, I would try to you do readings, get caught up, get prepped before lecture. And then after lectures were done for the day, I would go straight to my job, work that until usually close to midnight or after midnight. It was not I feel like it was not a fun university experience. I don't think I went to one single university party. And that was like during your frosh week, like during your, you know, when you first go to university. So it was like, yeah, it was very much just a matter of survival for that. So it was kind of one of those things. I don't know what my point was with that. But yeah, I think a degree is you need a degree if you want to work in the US. If you want to work in the US, you pretty much need a degree. Part of the reason why I decided I was like willing or able to drop out of school when I did was because I knew that by the time, if I wanted to ever move to the US for software, I already had like multiple years of experience. I already had multiple years of experience in tech that would translate to me being able to get a visa. Like I already had a lot of experience, and I was like, okay, well, that's me now. Even after my next job, I should have enough to be able to do that. But yeah, it's definitely, if you want to be able to work in the US, you're going to need to finish your degree. Underscore says I finished my degree and there's still gaps. Yeah, it's true. I think there's always a bit of you know, if you didn't finish your degree, there's always a bit of an expectation that you're going to like be less knowledgeable or you're going to be missing something somehow. I don't know. It's not too bad. Red Sly Fox says it's so competitive. A degree isn't what it used to be. It's true. It's true. Degrees are really good for networking though. Please keep uploading the Rust tutorials. It has helped me a ton. I don't know if I've done any Rust tutorials, but I can keep sharing my learning processes for sure. I'm still working. I am still doing that. I will still be publishing some videos on Rust. I just don't have a ton of what's it called? I don't have a ton to share right now on Rust. I have other side quests that y'all have questions on. How much of your degree did you finish? I was like halfway through. So it was like, you know, I was still like far enough away from, and I was at that point, I was also doing it like more part-time because I was like, my work was very intensive. So I was doing it like not the full, I think it's 5 courses. I was doing like 3 courses per term instead of 5 because 5 was crazy to do with a job. Especially because at the time too, I had gotten promoted at work. So I was like leading projects and stuff. And so I didn't have the band. Like it was in my best interest to like get those connections through work experience. That was more valuable to me than like shaving off some more time to get my degree done faster. YouTube only or also on Twitch? I'm on Twitch too. That's the chat that you see on the screen. I thought you were in the US. No, I'm Canadian. Je suis canadienne. C'est pour cette raison que je parle en français aussi. Except mon français, c'est un peu rusty. Mais si tu écoutes à mon français, mon accent, c'est un peu québécois. Moi, j'ai vraiment besoin de visiter le Québec. Ça fait vraiment du temps depuis la dernière fois que j'ai pu parler en français avec beaucoup de francophones. That's actually one thing too, is I'm like, I can speak French more in a like formal way, but I don't know any like terminology for me to speak French for like programming related stuff. I don't know any of it. I don't know. How much do you bench, bro? Your mom. That's all I need. That's all I need. I just need to be able to bench her. I'm gonna be honest though. Your girl, it's time to lock in. I gotta get back on a freaking program. I'm a little out of my program right now. We gotta get back on it. That is one thing that I don't love about travel, is it like really hijacks you from routine. Routine is so good for you. Okay? If your life feels kind of boring right now, good. It means you're probably getting shit done, okay? I'll be honest, like, consistency yields results. You can write code. Yeah, check out my channel, bro. Check out my channel. We be coding. I gotta work on my systems design knowledge, though. I think I need to get a book. I want to probably do some... I think I need to read a freaking book, okay? I think I'm going to do some streams that's just like cozy study stream, you know? Because I do want to stream more, and I think it would be fun to just like... We chillin'. Sometimes we just want to freaking learn. Okay, Tiki says, in the US, CS degree only bars you from management positions if you lack one. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, too, is I think it depends on your goals. Like, if you want to work at a FANG company, you definitely should have a degree. Or maybe not definitely, but, like, a lot of people, if you want to work in FANG, it's going to be easier. It's an easier pipeline to get in from a degree. I always have been a little bit, like, doing things my own way. I don't know. I like startups. I like the chaos. So to me, it's like it's not completely out of reach for me to say, like, maybe at one point I would have my own company or, you know, that I would work at. But even now I'm like, I feel like you go to like, you work with a big company and you're like, y'all are just figuring it out too. Y'all don't freaking know. Thanks, Denny. I should probably post there more. I forget to announce that I'm live. You talk more, work less. You're so right. You're so right, man. Too bad that's not going to stop me. Sometimes you just want to yap, okay? Where I work, I need the degree or won't qualify for a visa. Exactly. Visa and degrees, okay? They're like, that is the thing. What languages do you use in your degree? C, Python? Python, Java, C, C++, JavaScript. I think that's it. Yeah. Tu pourrais parler de ce que tu veux à Paris? Ouais. Je devrais visiter Paris un de ces jours. What the frick? You're like totally different vibe in French. I know, it's so weird. I feel like I'm more polished, my French version of myself. But French is interesting because French is more direct. Like just the structure, like if you're bilingual, you'll know what I mean. You're like a slightly different person when you speak different languages. And I think because of part of it is like delivery and like sentence structure and stuff. It's just like, I feel like in French, I'm just like, here's how it is. And in English, I'm like, here's the thing. I don't know. Do you have siblings? Yeah, I'm youngest sibling energy. That's the problem. That's my biggest faux pas, okay? Freaking younger sibling. The worst, am I right? The freaking worst. Oh, wait, that's so interesting. Okay, Eric said, question. I spoke 2 languages at home too. My mom used to specifically ask me to do things in Polish because I was more inclined to say yes. Do you notice your personality changes like that between English and French? Yeah, for sure. I feel like French me is like boss bitch. French me is just like, yeah. English me is kind of more goofy, I'd say. Yeah, you don't say 80 in French, you say 420s. I know, it's very funny. I need a bot that posts me on Twitter. I don't want to post that I'm live anywhere. I just want the real ones to know. All right. You guys, I don't have anything else to share with you, but we just be yapping. I don't have anything else to share with you. I do have some stuff I should probably do. I got to warm up before our stream tomorrow. Ooh, what's advice you'd give your younger self? Ask for help sooner. Don't be shy. Don't let other people's ego get in the way of your direction. I think that is the biggest thing that I used to hold myself back with. My French is funny sounding. It's less funny sounding when I've been immersed in French. I literally haven't spoke to another French person in years. Yeah, I would say that is the biggest thing that I noticed with myself, with just like my personality, my everything, was just like, I kind of, when I was younger, would let myself get steamrolled by other people's, kind of like other people's thoughts. It used to carry more weight than it should. Like at the end of the day, you know, you can, like, someone can say something that doesn't mean it needs to live on in your life, you know? Yeah. I'd say that. I think I used to be like very shy to ask for help and ask questions. I, for whatever reason, thought that it would make me look bad. And I think that came reinforced from, like, you know, a handful of times in school or in different situations where, you know, you do ask a question and then somebody says something that's very like belittling or whatever, and then you take that to heart. Like at the end of the day, somebody deciding that they want to be a jerk to you doesn't actually mean anything for your life. They're just a jerk. They're just a jerk. You're just living your life. It's separate. It's separate. Yeah, I think I could have grown. I think there's a lot of things that I kind of held myself back in when I was younger, not realizing that I don't need to let other people's things affect me or get in the way of my own processes. Do you have stuff to share ever? You just go online and you start yapping. You're so right. You're right. Real. What's something you want to say to your future self? I think I want to say, you know what I would say? I would say I'm proud of you, because I think everything that I do today is all stuff where it's like, I always want to make my past self proud of where I end up. I feel like that's what I would want to, that's what I would say. That's the only thing I can, because I know that I'm going to keep trying to do my best. My, like, current me is trying to make past me proud. And I think future me is still going to try and make past me proud. So that's what I would say. I don't think there's anything else. Like future me, there's so many things that I can't control. There's so many things that just happen in life. You know, you just can't control everything. And I don't think there's any use in trying to. I think the best thing in so many cases is just to have faith that you'll be resilient and that you can overcome whatever obstacles come in your way. I don't think that there's any point in saying, like, poor me, things are hard, whatever. And so I think that, yeah, I would just be proud of future me for whatever challenges come up. I trust that I'll be able to face them. And I'm proud of future me for doing that. Yeah. Toxic Bunny got replaced by Wholesome Buddy. I dabble. Sometimes I'm freaking wholesome. And sometimes I'm freaking clicking heads. Okay? We do it all. We do it all. Sometimes I'm just, and then sometimes I think I'm clicking heads, but I'm actually just foot. It's my foot. I don't know what that means, Robert. What does that mean? What did I miss? I know, this is kind of a vibe, eh? The fluffy chair. It's hiding my chair. That's so funny. Yeah, I guess that's the other thing that I would say. So Lithium said, I told future me that I'm proud of myself. And then future me slapped myself across the face and said, he's still mad at me for not buying Bitcoin. Valid. Yeah, actually, that's another thing I would say. I'm sorry to future me for all the stonk opportunities that I missed. Okay, Woman says, people do that in school and then you get into the workforce and it doesn't matter the level of knowledge people have. They ask stupid questions all the time and you realize after a while that is how you learn. Exactly. I think when I was younger, I was reluctant to ask potentially stupid questions, even if they weren't, you know? I was so scared of asking stupid questions that I would just ask nothing and it would just impede my learning. I became much more adept at learning and I performed much better in my classes when I became more willing to be wrong. Yeah. Wholesome Bunny's a trap. She lures you in, then Toxic Bunny shows up and shit gets real. It's so real. Right? Did you get fired or I quit? I quit. But that was a while ago. That was a while back. Yeah. Do you have any questions to your viewers? Do I have any questions? I know everything about you. Ooh, what are you guys interested in? What do you guys want to see from me? Actually, I'm curious what your favorite video that I ever made was. Like each of you. Every single one. Why did you quit? It kind of just felt like I'd outgrown my spot. It's very interesting. It's kind of something where Charm always felt kind of like a dream job to me. Like it was really, they took really good care of everyone that worked there. I was paid really well. I was pretty flexible with how I divided my attention at work, which was really nice. Like I really thrive on flexibility. My expertise was trusted, which I think a lot of you can often find yourself in situations where for whatever reason, your manager tries to micromanage, right? Where it's like, I thought you hired me because I'm the professional here, you know? So it was really nice. I don't think I really experienced that very much at Charm, which was good. But I think it kind of just came time where it was no longer, I was worried that the more time that I was going to stay there, the more potential skill atrophy or that I would fall behind. Because I was already feeling that a little bit. Like sometimes what the company needs from you and what you need from you are different. And I think when there's that misalignment, it's time to move on. So that was a big part of like kind of what pushed me to move. I think there were also some like slight cultural shifts that I wasn't interested in. I wasn't interested in partaking. Yeah, I will say it was also my first experience going through it where I haven't really spoken about this at all, but that was also my first, I think that's supposed to be ASCII art from this first time chatter. Your ASCII art changes every time that I resize my chat window. I don't know what that is, but I'm going to ban you in case. You can request an unban. Yeah, that was also my first ever experience. Like I was the face of the company at Charm for, a long time, like the whole time I was there. And I was fine with that because I had so much direction at the company. Like because I was allowed to decide like what topics were being discussed. I scripted like I that entire YouTube channel. It was like my idea, my script, my edits. It's like I had full creative control of that narrative, which was really important to me. I don't think I would have done DevRel any other way. I think it's really important to have your own voice, especially if you're the one saying it. But it was the first time that I'd ever kind of like had to deal with that heat online, like just with all of the stuff that happened with Dax and Adam. That was very stressful because I know they didn't mean it that way, but like I was the one that had to read all of that negativity. And I found it very overwhelming. It was really draining. Yeah, I wouldn't say that necessarily like pushed me to quit. I think it was just, that didn't help. That didn't help. That was a lot. But yeah. Okay. But yeah, that's kind of, mostly I just quit because I outgrew it. And I was like, I think there's some potential for growth here. Very vague. There was just like basically a lot of heat thrown at the company. And because I was face of the company / like DevRel, it was the first time that I had experienced the outcome of that, where it's like, yeah, I think it's like, I would be much more careful, I think, in the future. If I did another DevRel role, I would have to be really careful about like how closely tied I am to that. I don't know. Just like with my own stuff, I'm like, I am in full control of everything that I say and I do online. Right. But, when you're working with a team of people and it's like, however they act also is a reflection on you, is stressful. Thanks, woman. Yeah, exactly. If it doesn't feel right, it's time to make a change. What do you want to focus on in the future? It's so hard to say, because it's just like, I feel like the future is changing monthly. It's like, I genuinely have no idea where I'm going to end up in the future, what I'm going to focus on. So right now I'm just trying to explore, keep all of my interests interesting. But yeah, it was good. Okay. And then you guys were saying what your favorite videos were. Let me see. Okay. I think y'all are actually, the Twitch got sniped. Is it scary to not know, or do you thrive with the possibilities? I mean, it's nice knowing where things are going to land. I think that just naturally in life, there are just times where things are very uncertain. And I think that's just part of it. Like, I just have faith that things will we'll figure it out, There's just a lot of uncertainty for me right now. And that's okay. I think I'm just kind of, I don't really resist life that much. I just don't think there's any point to it. It feels like wasted energy. I'm just kind of like, you know what? I just go with the flow. Yeah. I'm like, I have, like, there's so many external things that we cannot control, but what I can control is knowing that I will figure it out, like having faith in myself that I will be able to figure out whatever comes my way, and that I will do my best to take advantage of whatever opportunities make sense. Yeah. So who knows? I just, you know what? Stay curious, and I'm going to keep exploring what I'm like, all the things that I'm curious about. And I think as long as I keep learning, that it should be fun and exciting opportunities, not, there's always going to be light. I'm here from all the Emacs content on your channel. Ooh. Okay. And then Sekris says, I like the what's in my bag / software toolbox, etc. But the how I travel in my 30-liter backpack was also cool. TLDR, show the tech and gadgets. Yeah, that stuff is fun. I also like that. I also like that stuff a lot. I love it. Like, I'm nosy. I think I'm just a nosy little bitch. I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm just a little bit nosy. I'm just like, what's in your bag? What are your daily, your go-tos? I'm like, I love seeing that stuff. Emacs stuff is fun too. It's interesting. I actually was expecting I thought that people would be more interested in the Rust stuff. Like, I think there has been interest with it, but it seems more so maybe towards the live streams than the, like, I don't know how to make my Rust videos a little bit more interesting. That's one thing I'm going to try and consider or think about. Because I'm like, the more I'm building, the more I just want to like talk about the project that I'm building. But then it's like, how do I make it like technical, but not dry? It's hard. Yeah. Wow. Eric says, I've never experienced fear of not having the means to survive, like losing a job or income of sorts. I can't really fathom how that must feel. It sounds scary. I mean, I'm not necessarily worried about that. It's just kind of, I think also it depends, like, I think that would be very scary. I agree. I think finance, you're like, yo, I need this to live. But I think at the end of the day, like things can and will work out. Has Prime ever convinced you to try Zig? I tried Zig a while ago. That's true. I think Rust's a bit too new and you do it more on lives. That's true. I haven't done a ton of Rust content. It's been pretty tame on the YouTube. I think there's actually my load balancer project. I did actually film an update on that, and then I haven't finished editing it. I like the short about grandma energy. It's very relatable. I also aim to be more like my grandmother. They're both women with aspirational qualities, right? I think there's so much we can learn from our elders. It like makes me really mad actually when people are like disrespectful to older generations. I'm like, y'all, they know things you don't. How are you not catching that? That is to say, like, there are going to be some disagreements in terms of like, the world changes. Some people don't adapt with it. And that is like, that's fine. You're allowed to disagree. But to show outright disrespect, I'm like, boy, get your ass. I'm going to get your ass. It makes me mad. I actually really think like when I see people that are like, if there is an elderly person that gets on like public transit or something and you don't immediately get up to give them your seat. Excuse me. It's like that meme. I don't condone violence, okay? Only a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. No violence, okay? I'm a PR-friendly streamer. All right, you guys, I got nothing else to say to you today. It's been 3 freaking hours. We've just been yapping. But I'll see you for a coding stream tomorrow, and then probably some other additional little streams. But I think that's maybe all of it is today. Okay, I'll answer some more questions first. If you guys got more things you want to chat about, you can send them here. I'll still answer. Okay, Sucker says, do you think it's hard to get into tech content streaming, or like with coding, just start doing it, you'll get there? It depends what the destination is. I think it is hard. I think it's hard to balance. Okay. One, it can be hard to balance trying, like, evolving your skills with an audience. Like, that in itself can be a little bit... okay, I'm getting bots. Hold on. One sec. How do I... Yeah, y'all are... It's okay. We'll fix this. We can freaking fix this. Oh, I can't. Okay, hold on. This is a whole thing. Me about to end, but I'm not. Also not. Where did I do this last time? Oh, I think it's... Okay, hold on. Guys, do you have any fun open source projects that you use? Actually, one of my faves of all time, okay? If any of you are looking for a screenshotting tool, Flameshot, unreal. So good. And it's like across all operating systems. So good. All right. Easy. All right. Okay. Back to the question. Bash, do you think it's hard to get into tech content streaming, or just like with coding, just start doing it, you'll get there? I think it can be... It depends on like what your goal is, right? Like if your goal is to kind of like is growth and stuff, it takes time. it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard, but it is one of those things, like growing any level of community is very satisfying, because it's like you're creating a space with people that resonate with you, that resonate with how you learn things, what you're learning. I think that's really special. So I think it's worth doing for that community. Like, to be an opportunity to build and grow that is I think one of the nicest things you can do. It's very satisfying. I think that no matter what, if you are starting to get into any kind of content creation in general, it does take failure to grow and learn. I think there's a certain amount that you can take away from other people's content, of being like, you know, I really like how they do this. I really like how they do this. But like, at the end of the day, your interpretation of things has to be unique. Otherwise you are like not going to make it, kind of thing. Yeah. But I think that you can just start doing stuff, and there will be some people that resonate, but it will take some time, depending on what your goal is. It takes time to get some level of community built up. What's the next chapter in your novel? I don't know yet. Live streamer, professional, full-time live streamer. Guys, I'm aiming for 100 hours of streaming in this next month. We can do it. We can lock in. I think we got this. Wait, is that a metaphor? Or are you writing a book? No, I'm not writing a book. I don't know. I think it's a metaphor. I'm gonna guess that's a chapter of life question. Don't know. But yeah, that's my thoughts. Just start doing it. Throw shit at the wall, see what sticks. Guys, I have some really fun events that I want to do on stream that I think will be very, very cool. I'm just dropping this for no reason. Nobody asked, but I have some really fun events that I want to make happen on stream, and I think y'all will be really excited about it. Yeah, one of my goals as a content creator, someone's asking, what are your goals as a content creator, is to have impact. I want to have more impact this year. That's going to be one of my goals. Yeah, so maybe something charity related. Maybe we do some charity stuff. I think that would be very fun, very cool. And I want to try and, I'll be like, yo, tech companies, you got bank, right? I'm just kidding, but also not. Yo, if your company got some charity budget, I might have something that they can partake in. Yeah, I think more philanthropy would be good. We need it. The world needs us. Teach middle school kids to code. Girls need role models too. Part of me was thinking at one point of doing like the Big Sister program or whatever. I do. The only thing is, it's just so hard. Yeah, you know, that could be something that could be cool. It could be cool, actually. Going to a school, doing a little event like that would be cool. I'm in Berlin's JetBrain's office this week for a Rust event. Where are you? I should be there. I'll be honest. It's because I'm not in Europe. It cost them like $1 million to get me over there, probably. And I'd bring my dog. Just kidding. But imagine. She's so cute. She's so cute. She deserves to travel. Will she like planes? Probably not. Okay. Not fair. I would love more women in our industry. That would be awesome. I know. I get so excited whenever I see any other like women in tech in the space. I'm like, hi, can we be friends? And sometimes they're like, bitch, who are you? I'm just kidding. No, they're nice. Generally nice. Oren does some sponsor pieces for JetBrains and Rust. I could connect you guys. Nah, we're good. I chat with JetBrains. I love JetBrains. They're great. JetBrains is one of the I've worked with them before. I don't know the real ones. The real ones. Wait for it. I gotta have my face. The real ones in the chat will remember. We did a JetBrains review a few years back. That was like a sponsored thing. I basically went over all of their stats from their developer survey that they do, which is really fun. But yeah, their editors are outstanding. Like if you're looking for an IDE, easy choice. Yeah. And yet she uses Emacs. Listen, I just like a personalized environment. I'm a freaking Linux girly. What do you expect from me? Okay. If I'm not spending my weekends ricing instead of freaking learning how to be a better developer, then what's even the point? What's even the point? Okay. I want things themed. I want it looking cute. My code suffers as a result. Okay. And I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to make that sacrifice. What's even the freaking point, okay? What does it all mean? You're so right. All right, you guys, we should probably end stream. I've seen your dot files. They're so... Okay, listen. I'm chaotic. I'm real chaotic. I got too many things I'm trying to do all the time. And it means that sometimes don't look at my dot files. Don't freaking look at them, okay? Get out of there. Get out of there. Get out of my GitHub. Get out of my GitHub. Hey, girl, what's your GitHub? Sorry, I still think that's funny. All right, let's see who. Guys. One day... Can you program more hours into today? That'd be dope. Imagine if I didn't have to sleep. But I kind of like sleeping. Sleeping's kind of fun. Chaotic, good, chaotic. I think I'm true neutral. Honestly. My friend told me that. One of my best friends was like, I was like, maybe I'm chaotic good. She's like, you're true neutral, baby. No way. No freaking way. I'm thinking. I have friends sometimes. Sometimes I dabble in friendship. Sometimes I dabble. Last commit to dot files was 2 months ago. That ain't right. I don't push my changes that much. You're the definition of chaotic good. I know, but there's some ways where I'm kind of type A. Like I can be very organized. If we've ever had email correspondence, you'll see I'm very... There's some ways where I'm very nitpicky. Not nitpicky, but yeah, a little bit. Maybe a little bit, actually. I'm like, we should do things this way. And I won't budge. It'd be a little OCD. Maybe. But then I think I'm mostly chaotic. I don't know. Guys. You're great. You're great. I just want to say that. And I wanted to make it dramatic, just so y'all know. Bash and organize, it sounds like an impossible combo. No, it's crazy. I also don't understand. I feel like I am literally the epitome of like when the cartoons have like the angel and devil on the shoulder. It's like one of them is like my chaos monkey and the other one is like, I don't know, what's like a squirrel? I don't know. Squirrels are so organized. They know where all their shells are. They're nuts, right? They're shells. They're collecting shells at the beach for crafts. Yeah, hyper focus for 10% and then back to chaos. You're right. What kind of coder are you? The chaotic kind. The worst kind. Her room is overly clean. Oh, no. Okay, wait, this is the perfect explanation of my personality, okay? So, if you were to look around my home, it's messy, or not always. I'm okay with mess, but it has to be clean. Like, has to be clean. Do you know what I mean? Is anyone vibing with that? Does anyone get me? You know, like my floors are mopped, but there might be some like a jacket on the floor. There might be some dog hair. Actually, not even dog hair. I vacuumed that out pretty quick. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, and then you've seen my desk photo, right? Hold on. I have a desk photo that I posted recently. I'm like, yeah, it's a vibe. I'm like, I'm a little chaotic. I'm allowed to be chaotic, but not a mess. You know? Guys, I gotta find the desk photo for you. It's not bad. It's not that bad. You guys are making it sound like it's so bad. Listen, I didn't do anything. I don't even know if I'm signed into Twitter on this. Oh, I am. Wait, that's huge. Holy shit. The evil app. Oh, wait, did I post it on Twitter? Where did I post it? Surely I did. Here we go. You guys can see. Okay? Actually, it's chaotic. There's like, there's like a certain point. Okay, I think I get it. So this was at a different setup. But I think my point is there's a certain amount that I will invest time into something where I'm like, yes, this brings me returns. And then there's a certain point where I'm like, any more time in this is wasted. You know? I'm like 80-20 rule. I think I'm an 80-20 girl. That desk photo is chaos. A little bit chaotic. But am I productive as hell in that environment? Yes. Do I feel the need to clean it right away? No, because I'm using it. What would you do if your boyfriend was messy? I think that if you're in a relationship, you have to have like similar levels of tolerance. I like to be clean but tolerant. Oh, sorry, I forgot to post it on YouTube. My bad. Listen, YouTube, y'all's getting the nerfed viewing experience, okay? Like, I'm sorry. This desk photo is just real. It's just real talk. This is just how this is a real people experience. I'm not like one of so many people, I think there's a false level of cleanliness and order that people have online. You know what? Nah, I'm okay to have like, I got yogurt. Okay, well, that's yogurt I pulled out for stream. It's not old, okay? I got yogurt on my desk. I got 2 laptops. I have a piece of paper that we were testing our Forever Pencil on. I have the Forever Pencil. I have an audio thing. Actually, my desk's pretty clutter-free right now. But I like being a little chaotic. You gotta leave. I like the chaos. Yeah. It's just things you're using. Exactly. Yeah, Cal, that's what I'm saying. Uh-oh. I've been married for 14 years. My wife is a clean mess, and I hate any mess. It's a long point of tension. Yeah. So you know what you got to do with that? There's 2 options. One, I think that cleanliness should very, very seldom be an actual issue in a relationship because cleaners exist. If you're a software dev, you can probably afford to get a cleaner once a month. You know, it doesn't take much. What I will say is if they're messy, get them a little basket or something. They need a place where they can put all their mess, and eventually they have to put that stuff away. You know? Oh my God, Vim, thank you so much for the 10 gifted. I appreciate it. I'm so sorry that I'm a traitor to your editor, but I'm not going to change. But thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Wait. Are you ready? Oh, wait. I don't know if this... That's so loud. Oh my God, I hated that. Okay, that's my bad. That was really loud. I'm going to turn that down next time. I hope your ears are okay. That was so loud. Wait, let me try again. Watch your ears. Okay, I turned it down. That's actually awesome. I feel like I should do that when people gift, when people sub. Yes. Also, me too, William. Okay, wait, William. We're the same right now. William said, I've found one of the best solutions to messiness for me is just to not have as many possessions. 100%. I think that is the key. I think that's also why I'm picky about like adding more things to my space, because the more things that you have, the more things you have to take care of. Oh, it's too quiet now. It was so loud for me. Okay, well, yeah, I also find that I'm like, the more things that I have, the more things I have to make sure that I can take care of. And if I can't take care of them, I have to rehome them. And that's so much work. Yeah, I feel like I'm okay to tolerate more mess in rooms that are like for me. My office is always a little bit chaotic. You can tell back here, clean. Near my desk, a little more chaotic. I got like cables on the floor for no reason. No particular reason. Yeah, you know. Yeah. Yeah, hobby rooms are good. That's what I'm saying. Messy desks, it's a vibe. Do you have a cool dev bookshelf? What does that mean? Like this one? What's in a dev bookshelf? Oh, like with more books? I don't read. That's the trick. No, I'm just kidding. I actually have a lot of bookshelves in my main living area. One day maybe I will film something in there. Give y'all a bit of a BTS. Am I a mini germaphobe? I'm maybe a little bit of a germaphobe. I'm gonna be honest. Let me be honest. It gives me a lot of peace of mind if I use a Lysol wipe on my airplane seat when I first get on the plane. And I think that maybe puts me a little bit into the germaphobe category. I'm like, this ain't being cleaned since it was deployed. All right. I was like, I seen people with their toes out on the plane. I don't need their toe germs. I don't want it. I don't want your toe germs. Also, it pays it forward to the next person. It was cleaned right just now. I just did it. The one after me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you get it. Admitting a lack of cable management is wild. Listen, I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it freaking real, okay? Ban him. No, I'm just kidding. Welcome in. Get banned. Wait, I have something for this. Probably. Wait.
Hello. Wait, what? Okay, I can't do that.
Oh my God. Yo, Wraith, that was crazy. That man freaking nuked the plane. Okay, that's an all-timer. There was just one time.
Have you ever been on a plane and someone won't stop farting? Come on, you're holding us hostage. They're going nuclear. It's messed up.
You can't do that. You can't freaking do that. Evil. Okay, you guys, this is going nowhere. This is going freaking nowhere. I should end stream because I'm freaking yapping. You're freaking yapping. All right, you guys. I will see you all tomorrow. We're gonna do some coding tomorrow. This means that I'm gonna have to buck up and do some coding today. Get a little warmed up. I've also got a bunch of stuff that I gotta work on. Also, cable management. Does anyone actually have like usable, nice cable management with a standing desk? That shit don't exist. It don't exist. He gave like 20 subs. Wait, what? I appreciate that. Thank you, Richie. What time tomorrow? The usual 12 p.m. Pacific. So Wednesday, Thursday is staying on the current schedule. Like those are going to be the only scheduled streams. I'm just probably going to stream also in the evenings. In PST time zone. All right, you guys. I hope, we're so back. How's it feel? You guys excited? I'm excited. It's almost August. What the fuck? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? You guys, maybe if you can give me good cable management suggestions in the Discord, don't forget to join the Discord. If you give me good cable management suggestions in the Discord, we can do a cable management stream, which I know sounds so interesting. It's like watching paint dry, but you're programmers and you like it. And you freaking like it, whether you like it or not. You're gonna like it. You're gonna get it. You're gonna like it. Okay. Let's see. Ooh, coding my dream Minecraft server, day 26. Okay, that's a lot of days, man. Day 26. Yo, I like their theme, though. That kind of looks like my theme. Do we want to watch someone coding their dream Minecraft server? I mean... Why you gotta call us out? Oh, you know what? You're right. Actually, you know, maybe I'll raid somebody who's not in our category. Y'all get what you get. Y'all freaking get what you get. You know what? We should keep raiding Alveus and then say, listen, I want to go to Alveus. And then maybe they'll let us in. I have a back door into Alveus. There's a chance that I can get in there. We should do it. Actually, you know what? This girl's very cool. I think I've raided her before. I've met her, and she's very nice. Again, you guys, we love streamers, okay? Streamers are freaking nice. Mostly. Except for the evil ones. It's one way or the other. They're either, like, really nice, or they're like a cartoon villain. There's no in between. There's no in between. Y'all ever met somebody and you're like, you are just, like, comically evil. You are literally a cartoon villain. Like... You're Jafar from Aladdin. Like, what do you mean? Jafar is such a good, compelling cartoon villain. He's great. Is Primogen the villain or the hero? I think he's probably the hero and I'm the villain. In that context, okay? I'm a nice person, though. I'm not an actual cartoon villain. But some people... Yo... I'm like, you stay on the internet. You stay on the internet away from me, okay? I don't like that. No. I'm only the villain in that story because I ditched Vim for Emacs. It's different. It's different. Okay, you guys, we're going to raid... we are going to raid Asta. Asta Bush. Okay, you guys, I gotta go. I don't even know. I just be freaking... All right. No, Prime is really nice. Prime is great. Prime is very genuinely nice person. Okay. Goodbye. I'll see you guys later. Okay, enjoy the raid. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Do I have audio here? I'm so scared. Oh, it's this one? Okay, we're good. Okay, goodbye, YouTube. I'll see you later.